What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Patreon episode of Flagrant 2, No Easy Buckets analysis by assholes, water cooler commentary for your soul's needs. We are back. I'm here. I'm Andrew Schulz. I'm with Akaash Singh, Real Life Cash.
Yes, sir.
We got Edit in the building, FA in the back.
Right out.
Exciting day today.
Yeah.
Very exciting day.
Exciting day today, patrons. I had a... I haven't spoken about this exactly, I think, to the people, but I'm going to talk to you guys about it. I started looking at space. And what I mean by space is I started looking for our new compound. I'm looking at places to put the Flagrant 2 podcast, I'll just break the news right now, the return of Westerbros for Game of Thrones, obviously. You know, maybe even get Brilliant Idiots out there, Inside Jokes, the other shows that we do. I'm looking for basically a creative space. And I'm looking in Brooklyn and Queens because I can't afford Manhattan. But we started looking at some places today, and we saw some pretty good stuff, no?
Whereabouts?
FA, why don't you go sit over there if you can fit over there? And we'll,
That's fucked up.
No, I didn't mean it. It's a tight little squeeze.
It's a little tight squeeze. He got in there pretty easily.
We were looking at...
I guess not. My bad. My bad, bro.
Snug. So we were looking at places in Brooklyn and Queens, and I brought FA, and he dressed how he dressed. He dressed like fucking Adam Sandler. Dude, this guy can't not wear sweatpants, right? Dude.
It's the third day I'm here. Okay?
Yeah.
I wore jeans for the first two.
It's the third day I'm here.
Okay, he did wear jeans because I took him to the garden.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
And it was a pleasant outfit. I take him to go look at real estate, which is we're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on. Okay. And he wears a shirt. You're not, but you're with me. You're representing me. I'm taking you because your accent's nice. It looks like we're doing business. And you show up and there's fucking barbecue sauce all over your polo shirt. It's an issue.
Bro, he wakes up 5 minutes before a fucking Uber comes along. It's as simple as that. I've been up since 7 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. He'll make a fucking Uber wait too, dog.
I do be making him wait.
I
don't go down until they say I have arrived.
Here's the thing about Andrew.
That's the only time I leave.
When he's ready, you got to be the fuck ready.
Yeah.
But when you ready, he's like, hold on, I need 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm paying for the Uber. So it's on my time. If y'all want to pay for the Uber,
now, even if
time.
it's regular shit, like we can go eat at a diner. I remember this from back in the day.
Yeah.
Andrew always act like he was, maybe this is why he's killing it right now, because you always acted like a star. Like, if we were going to eat at a diner, you'd be like, hold on, give me about 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. And then you just keep waiting. But when you're ready, you're like, son, I'm fucking famished right now. I'm losing my fucking mind. I swear to God. You've been waiting 30 seconds.
What I do at the last place we saw today when we were looking at real estate.
Oh, my God. We're sitting there. There's these two guys called Jeff who look long in the tooth. They want to leave. They don't give a fuck being there.
Yeah.
I go speak to somebody. We're all looking for Andrew. Where the fuck is Andrew gone? I think he's already bounced. He's downstairs waiting for me. So I'm thinking, fuck, Andrew's annoyed with me. My man's sitting on the toilet, taking a horrendous shit. So much so, people go, is he all right? Can you go check on him? I go around the corner. Andrew's like, that's a comfy toilet.
I yelled at
Sold.
Son, this is a thing that I did when I was buying my apartment. Every apartment I would check out, I took a shit in.
Got to.
That's have to, dog.
This is my sick little joke that I would play. Because I like my real estate agent. This kid named Jonah. He's a nice kid. But he's a little socially awkward.
Dude, most real estate agents in New York are dickheads.
No, this is a really sweet kid. He's a really nice kid. He's just a little socially awkward,
right,
you know?
Right.
So I figure, how can I help him with his social awkwardness by immersing him in a social environment?
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would go to the bathroom and take a 30-minute shit and just leave him in the living room with the other realtor or the people who own the spot.
Camp.
So you force him to talk. You gotta force him to be
You gonna have some conversations today, Jonah. You gonna learn how to talk. So FA was out there making deals with fucking mustard all over his shirt.
No, but here's
sweatpants
the thing.
hanging off his ass.
Rich people now, Zuckerberg changed the dress code for rich people. FA, with that accent, you could look at him and think, this motherfucker for real.
Right.
Yeah.
But Zuckerberg changes it for the youth. We're still dealing with like old people who own real estate in Brooklyn and Queens.
That's true.
They like that accent. Like even the guy who was taking us around, right? I'm not going to say what F.A. does for a living, where
Right.
he's from, but like he has a very important job
Yeah.
Right.
where he's from, right? That has like some power
Right.
and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So, but you know, he's dressing. I mean, how do you dress? You know, you dress like a fucking.
Can I just say, he woke up at 10 o'clock, the fucking Uber was already downstairs. So
Yeah. Look at
But
his
he
hair.
He dressed
does
like a
look
gym
nice,
teacher. I'm not
and
gonna hold you.
I have legitimately seen homeless people wearing that exact outfit.
You look newly homeless. You're not like a like a vet homeless person.
Real
but
talk,
you're-
you got
You
on
look like a classy Chris Griffin.
you got
I
on
think
Cleveland Cavaliers sweatpants, and I legitimately you look like somebody from Cleveland. Like if you don't talk, I'm like that's a Clevelander. He
But
from,
then I mean,
Yeah.
the
You
accent
should
comes
be
out.
The accent
on
helps.
TLC. There are multiple shows on TLC. It's the Learning Channel. Is that the
Yeah.
one?
The
Learning
But
Channel.
that's the one with Honey Boo Boo.
if you had a southern accent, you would be on the new season of Queer
You know
Eye.
what's great about this, and nobody else can see? He's literally pinned into his chair, so he can't even leave unless if he wants it.
I'm gonna
Like you
fuck up this podcast.
So F.A.'s got this important fucking job, and the real estate agent that's driving us around, right? You know, I don't know if he was hitting F.A. off with the respect that maybe he deserved,
Right.
but he said something about the markets, and then F.A. you know talked about the markets or something like that, and then I said what the guy does, and immediately the realtor that's showing us around changes his tune,
Yeah.
right? Did he not? He goes, "Oh, is that what you
But
do?"
that's the play. That's the play. You give them one impression, and then the accent comes out, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Look, I
And
used
then
to.
you say what you do for a living, and they're like, "Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. It kind of you did fool me when I first remember. I thought you were Nigerian for the first because his name was Efe. Doesn't that sound like it could be Nigerian?
I
It's
still I
Nigerian.
thought it was like a nickname
Bro,
too. Like I
you
didn't
want to
know
know
it was,
the
like,
real
give-
shit? This is the real shit, and then maybe this shows my like positive prejudice towards Nigerians. Your name was Efe, right? And you were like, you're a lawyer, and I'm like, okay, he's
No,
probably a
Perfect.
smart lawyer.
Beat that out. Beat that out.
No,
What
no,
he
no,
does.
no. That's fine to say he's a lawyer. No, no. So it's like, so I'm like, okay, he's probably the smart ass Nigerian, and then I find out he's Turkish, and I was like, I don't know how smart this guy is.
like
when
Turkey.
you were Nigerian, I was like, no, this guy got it,
This
bro.
guy's
This
worked hard. This guy's
guy earned
made
it.
his way.
like
It's like,
Turkish lawyer.
Yeah, I still am like
I'm gonna fuck you up."
I respect this about Andrew though. F.A. was a fan who hit up Andrew after a Brilliant Idiots episode, and
Yeah.
then they forged a legitimate friendship, and now they like hang out.
He had really good advice.
And it was really good advice, but your ability to do that is something I still marvel at because I still get tired at the idea of interacting with people I don't know. It still
Right.
feels
Yeah.
like it takes energy from me.
Why?
Like,
Why is that?
I don't know. It feels like I still have to, and you've talked like you don't have to, but I still feel like I have to put on and make these guys feel a certain way.
You have
Maybe it's
to-
just what I do in general conversation. So
Yep.
that's why I have a lot of close friends, but I'm really, like I don't like hanging out
Not
outside
social.
of that circle
Yeah,
of
yeah.
my people.
Do you feel like you have to live up to an expectation?
Maybe live up to an expectation is part of it. Also, just kind of performing for everybody.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
about to say, is that hard for y'all as comedians? Like when people come up to you and like they expect you like to be on all the
Right.
time. Like
I think
Yeah.
it.
say something funny.
Yeah, I think early in my career, when the Guy Code days, I definitely felt that that anxiety of like, hey, these guys expect me to be funny, so when they meet me, I have to live up to that. But that's because I didn't feel like I deserved my fame, right? So every person that I interacted with, I felt like
You're still very humble. Oh, don't.
I feel like I had to justify them liking me.
Oh,
Does that
okay.
make sense?
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like-
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's what it is for me.
For sure. So it's like it's a newer experience. I was on a podcast called No Disrespect with Mike Vecchione and Justin Silver. Funny guys. You can check it out.
Not
Should be out
dogs,
soon.
Mike Vick.
Say what?
Not the dogs, Mike Vick.
No, Mike
Mike
Vecchione.
Vecchione.
Oh, Mike
Mike
Vecchio. I was like Mike Vick. I'm like,
funny.
you're just gonna slip that in there. like,
I
just
like
hanging
how
out
he's
with Michael
described
Vick.
by the dog Mike Vick, not football superstar. Dog Mike
Not
Vick.
Madden Cup. Not the
Not
most
Madden
unstoppable
Cup.
Madden player
Ever in history. No, the Mike Vecchione was telling me a lot of people came out to his show in Columbus. He was doing a show in Columbus.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, yeah, it was cool afterwards, and like, you know, I bought everybody drinks afterwards, and I was like, yeah, because you didn't feel like you deserved them to be there, huh? He goes, what do you mean? Like, you feel like you had to be like nice to them for coming,
Right.
right? And he's like, oh shit, maybe that's what it was. And that's what happens. There's this guilt when you first experience fame, where you can't fathom that somebody
Yeah.
somebody already gets so much value from you.
And you gotta give.
Right.
You feel like you gotta give them more.
You're like, you came to see me. How can I repay you? And they're like, bro, this is you repaying us. It's just being here. And thank you so much for distracting us for a few hours a week or day, etc.
That's a weird way to look at it. Because I don't have your level of fame,
Right.
but like I'm definitely starting to experience like people
know
recognizing you and noticing you and shit like that. And like I definitely feel that sort of like I got to go out the way to be like.
I feel pressure.
Yeah,
Even
it's a weird pressure.
you still respond to mad DMs. I obviously barely check them because what good can come from DMs?
Right.
Faithful. But also like when I do check them, like I'm like I got to respond to this dude, but it just seems like energy and like it's like a thing, and like I almost get like not anxiety, but I get like kind of overwhelmed by it. I'm like I'll get to it, and then I never really get to it.
Yeah.
And then, like, with my mom, I was like, you have to. When people would text me my mom, like, you have to respond.
Yeah.
But, like, other than that, it just feels, like, daunting and overwhelming. I'm just like, fuck, man. I don't know. This is a lot.
Yeah, man. I think that, like, the more, and this is, I think you're very authentic. This is not a knock on your authenticity, but the more you accept your authentic self and deliver your authentic self, you don't have to live up to anything.
Right,
like
right.
Andrew Dice Clay has to be somebody. He has to fake be somebody, right?
No,
like,
sorry
you know, like
to interrupt.
Ari Piven or whatever that guy's name
Jeremy
is.
Piven.
Jeremy Piven, who
Yeah.
plays Ari Gold on Entourage, has to be somebody that's not himself.
Yeah, I think you're
You're
right.
yourself.
I think it is the idea that people they can accept performer me, but not regular me. Like,
But they're not different.
you're
You
right.
think they're different.
I think that's what I'm thinking. I
Yeah.
think my thought is, I got to perform because they know me as the performer. They don't know me. And in reality, we're talking for 2 hours at a time. They get authentic me, but it seems like
it's in your head.
They don't
but
know. Yeah.
I think you're kind of
take
overthinking
time.
it.
You'll get
Like,
there. The other thing that you do is like, not you, but the other thing that you have to realize is a lot of times when you meet somebody, they're not looking for you to entertain anymore. In a lot of moments, they're looking to entertain you.
Interesting.
Right? Because they're almost like, hey man, you guys have said all these things that really have gotten me thinking, and finally I have the opportunity to like
say them something to you.
Because like you inspired this thought, so here's a thought for you. So it's almost like you feel like you got a tap dance, but they got their routine set, and they're like, when you're done dancing, I want to show you some dances that I got.
Can I be honest?
There's thousands of people who have been listening to you for over a year now.
Yeah,
and they've all they wanted to do was for you to listen to them. Because
no,
like, you give
I'm
so
gonna be
much.
honest with you guys, and I don't know if we've talked on the podcast about how much a prisoner of my own mind I am. Most comics are, but even when they do that, I'm like, well, you gotta fucking give it up for this guy. You can't leave him hanging. He's gonna tap dance, and then that seems exhausting. I'm like, you gotta laugh at this guy, even if you don't think he's funny. You gotta do this. I see what you're doing, and I don't want to not reward that. Like, I know you're doing this for me,
right?
And I don't want to be the asshole.
Because if you're honest, then they'd be like, "Oh, I met Akaash Singh. He's a fucking asshole."
And even that, not even that. I don't want to hurt your feelings. So it's like, this guy's like, he's trying to make me laugh. This poor kid, give it up for him. And even that seems tired.
What's worst case scenario?
I don't know. I guess I hurt this guy's feelings, or maybe I hurt his perception.
Calls you an asshole.
Do you think that guy has experienced worse in his life?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's another thing. We put so much emphasis on ourselves, man. Like we put so much power on ourselves, and it's like the people listen to this podcast even right now, a lot of them have been through way worse shit than maybe meeting one of us and us not laughing at their joke.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, to be honest, could turn into one of their funniest stories.
I was about to ask you, like, has that happened to you, where like, or to any of you guys, where somebody's tried to like impress you and you were like, nah, that's not it, and like they've used you as motivation?
Sure. Like maybe it's not, that's not it. Like I think there is.
I've
like,
had that happen to me, but like in a different
Can I
climate.
chime in on
Like
yes.
Because I'm the fan that's managed to break through. I think everyone knows so much about you from the podcast, like from your family situations to everything. You'd be surprised at how much people feel like they're part of your lives. So they would want to say thank you and show some sort of gratitude to sort of have an exchange.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so often we go to shows and stuff like that, and I think once you start doing a road more and you start interacting more, you'll feel it. Like, it was funny. A lot of people were hitting me up yesterday about after the Nipsey thing, and they were like, "Hey man, you got to realize, like, you're out there with the people like Nipsey was. You know what I mean? Like, does that mean you're gonna pull back this kind of shit?" I'm like, we're out there with very different people. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's very different people.
It's not that different though. It's really not that different.
It is. It is.
If you think about
different.
it, if you think about the circumstances that surrounded his life, like you're very much into, being self-investing.
The mentality is the same. The clientele he's saying is the difference.
But I'm saying like, what's the difference between what happened to Nipsey and like a crazed fan coming up to you and be like, dude, you're not that funny. It's like, I'm not funny. Shoot you. You know what I mean? Like,
the difference is I'll never tell a crazed fan like, hey, you can't be around here because you were in prison for this thing, because I'll never have that interaction.
Okay.
I won't know why.
I'm just
you were
saying
in
like
prison.
I'm just saying the equivalent of that. I'm not saying the direct like you're a snitch, give me your papers or don't show your face here. I'm talking about like it's not that different than something you would probably have to go through. Like you're employing a lot of people that are either your friends or.
But like Eden's not going to prison. Like FA's not going to prison.
You're focusing too much on the prison stuff. I'm just saying like,
but there's
an equivalent. There's an equivalent to that where it's like, all right, example, fucking Eden fucks up this week's podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like we're doing all this shit and then it's like, it didn't work. Like you try to put it out and we have no episode because of Eden, right? And fuck it, sorry, you're just here, so I'm just using you as an example,
right?
And you're like, yo, we can't deal with that. Like you're fired, right? Yeah. Comes back a couple weeks later, yo, man, I really want to show you I love doing this. I really want to. Like, nah, go do somebody else's podcast for a little while, and then maybe we'll make it happen. All right, I'll go do somebody else's podcast. Comes back and kills you.
Right.
That's an equivalent. Because like you don't know like what the equivalent of like authenticity and the streets to Nipsey and that dude is almost the equivalent of Eden and creating content and all this other shit. It's like you said I'm a snitch. Like you said I can't produce content. Like this is what my life. This is what I do.
So the difference I would say is like Akaash said is the clientele, right? So I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I'm hiring people and doing business with people who have, maybe been in jail for murder and who actively are involved in illegal things, right? I mean, that was part of what was happening in this enterprise.
The chances are much smaller.
Let me just finish, right? So it's like, and the cost of doing business, unfortunately, in the hood, this is one of the things that a guy tweeted this to me, so I don't want to take credit for it, but he basically said it's like you can't expect to be in the hood, live in the hood, operate in the hood, and not hood stuff happen to you. That hit me.
Yeah.
Now I think the biggest issue with our conversation on Monday, which came out Tuesday, was that because it was very interesting because I had Brilliant Idiots convo that's out today where Charlemagne and Wayno echoed my sentiments exactly.
Yeah.
They said the exact same thing that I was saying in our conversation here. The difference is they're from that area. They're from that environment. Not that specific one, but they're from the hood.
It's not
They've
that
experienced
much different.
that thing. So when you see people from the hood saying the same thing that I was saying, you can't discredit them.
Yeah.
But when you see some white guy that grew up with privilege saying it, it's like, here goes Schulz talking about this, that's it. And I completely get that I get that reaction for it. Because if somebody was telling me what it was like to grow up and live my lifestyle that had never lived it, I would say, you have no clue what you're talking about. You haven't lived it. So sometimes it's not the message, it's the messenger. And Charlemagne and Wayno so eloquently spoke about, and Gilly the Kid, I don't know if you know Gilly.
Yeah, I know Gilly.
So Gilly the Kid said the same thing. He's like, listen, the hood is not love. It's based on hate.
Yeah. And I saw the clip you're talking about. I think Alex posted it. And basically,
and that's exactly what I was saying.
No,
in the
I get what
podcast.
you're saying. That's why I like when people were in my mentions like, "How you gonna let Andrew talk?" I'm like, bro, I get what he's saying. Like we're just having a conversation. The thing that Charlemagne said was, "You're not wrong. It's just that like the DNA of the hood has to change." Is what I'm saying. Like with him, he pointed to hurt people. All these people have trauma. Like if we're not doing anything to like heal ourselves, like we're doomed to continue to repeat this fucked up cycle.
Correct.
And as sad as it is, like a person that with this stature, with this height of influence and popularity gets gunned down, I hope that it starts to be the pendulum swing for everybody just to really take trauma in the hood seriously. Like this person's ego was so fragile by somebody calling him a snitch.
Right.
He caused hurt to countless people because he was just hurt.
Right.
And he didn't have the fucking foundation in him
Right.
from birth
Right.
to know what was right and what was wrong, and it was okay to feel shit, and it was okay to talk these things out without having to reach for a gun.
Right.
You know, and that's why I had no issue with what you said
Right.
on Monday, because like I understand where you were coming from, and like you said, you're also right. The messenger sometimes is not.
I'm not the messenger for this, but I'll never let my skin color or like where I was raised, because those things are not up to me. That wasn't my choice.
Yeah.
I'll never let them stop a message that I think is important to get out there. Now, I understand that the vehicle for the message will make it more difficult for some people to digest.
Yeah.
You know, it's similar to like eating soup with a fork. You know what I mean? Right there, I was the fork, and I was trying to feed the soup, and Charla and Wayno came in with the ladle.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a spoon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was the same soup. And the reason why I wanted to have that conversation with them specifically is because I knew how direct that message was going to hit. And I can even see it today really starting to resonate, because Charlotte so beautifully, like you were saying, talked about like the chain of hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And how we're passing down certain things as culture when it's not culture.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? You're just calling hate culture, and we got to stop. And one of the things that we were trying to talk about, and the message I want to get out, is that like people are a product of their environment. You can change environments, and if you change environments, you change people.
Mm-hmm.
So that Eric kid, if he was raised in a different environment, that's not how he would acted.
Yeah.
So if we want to change the way these people are acting, let's change the expectation for the environment. But until then, don't be surprised if this shit happens again. Because we do this shit where every time it happens, we get surprised.
Yeah, that's the hard.
Every time it happens, we get shocked.
It's
right?
the hard conversation that we don't really want to have, and
But
that's
we have
why.
it. But we have it with certain things.
That's
it's like,
why it was so easy for people to be like, "Oh, it was a conspiracy. It was this. It was that." I was like, "No, we don't want to have the hard conversation with ourselves."
Exactly. You
and
don't
be
wanna look in the
like,
mirror.
Dog, like we do this to ourselves way too fucking much, and because we never addressed this, or
Yeah.
we've taken too long to address this, we lost somebody so fucking important to us because we didn't want to be like, "Yo, like sometimes." We got to fix ourselves before we point the finger at anybody else.
that is, and it's hard to hear a white guy say that.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% aware of
They
that.
didn't
But
even like Cosby saying it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo,
They didn't even like Cosby saying
so,
that.
yo, it's hard to hear a black guy say it.
Yeah.
So imagine a white guy saying it. It's crazy. Like that is crazy.
And I
Good
think
for you
and
for
I-
saying it though.
But
and I
my
think
point
the
is,
flack that you
I guess
caught-
my point real quick is that like, to me, I'll always take flack if I feel like that message could get to one person who could then serve it to people with the ladle. I don't mind the flack.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, you've taken it before. That's why I was
exactly.
like, I'm like,
it's not the
it
first
happens,
time I dealt
whatever.
with it.
And that's the
Because-
point. That's the point of this whole fucking
Exactly. It's like
tribe.
that's the it is the message is more important than the tweets that I'm gonna get, because the news cycle's short.
Yeah.
I might get a couple tweets and it's a wrap.
Yeah.
You know, but but that message could be long, and it might get in the right hands, and it might inspire the right comment. I'm glad that we did that on Idiots. So, but I guess what I'm saying is, until we make change, we cannot be surprised if it keeps happening again. It's like the same thing with black people getting shot by the cops.
Yeah.
It's like, until we go, yo, we need to reform police,
Mm-hmm. It's gonna keep happening.
or it's going to keep happening,
Yeah.
right? So it's like we all are on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody agrees. Hey, let's reform so people stop getting shot. So it's like, okay, let's do reform for.
I think the reason why you caught flack for it was because I think people thought you were applying that to Nipsey, is what I'm saying. Like,
I'm saying Nipsey, you got to get out.
not
And I'm saying
that. I
Here's
mean,
what I would say about Nipsey, real quick. I think you're right. The percentage of anything happening to you is way lower because you're dealing with way different people.
Right.
At the same time, it is possible that you could reach some crazy alt-right, deranged white dude who's like, yo, this motherfucker's right, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe he tries to talk to you on some alt-right shit, and then you shut it down. You're like, nah, man, I don't do that.
Right.
And he's crazy.
It's very possible.
And not very possible. There's a world in which this happens. He comes back to you and
Right.
is like, fuck this guy. He's not with my cause, whatever, and something happens to you. It's a much smaller chance, but you are thinking there is a price to pay for my authenticity. And that's fine. I'm comfortable with that.
Right.
Nipsey understood the chances were much higher. Somebody could come back. He knows he's in the hood. I think Nipsey's smart enough to know I'm in the hood. Some shit could happen to me.
Right.
But this is what I deem as authentic. This is what I deem as the best way to help.
So
and I'm okay with that price.
Just to take your analogy and just to make sure it's accurate, I'm never going to reach some alt-right guy.
I'm not saying intentionally.
Let me finish. Let me finish. So Nipsey is reaching like the extreme hood. Nipsey's like, I'm about the hood. I'm about the hood.
Right.
I'm supporting everything in the hood. So he's going to have extreme hood dudes
Right.
around him.
Right.
So the analogy is, let's say there's an extreme flagrant guy, an extreme free speech, an extreme whatever, wants to say the most extreme fucked up shit, right? Then comes me, because I don't want to associate what I do with all right in any way,
here's
shape,
what
or
I'm
form.
saying. Sorry.
What you did,
Okay.
what I'm saying, I'm just correcting your
clarify.
analogy. I'm clarifying, right? So it's like, so that extreme version, that person could equally feel the exact same
yes,
way.
and I don't even want to I'm saying someone could misinterpret what you say.
Don't even
and
use the word. It's not
you
even.
just,
it doesn't
you're just
help.
saying, okay,
You see what I'm
I got
saying?
you. I see what you're saying.
What you're putting in
Somebody-
people's minds is
there
a
could be
correlation.
some deranged motherfucker who thinks views from the cis, oh, this is my guy. And it's no, you're not. You're
Right.
not their guy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's a world that exists where there's a deranged person who's like, views from the cis, this guy's right. The views from the cis is
No,
all
just
he
do
sees.
what we all do here. We all speak
Yeah.
about flagrancy.
Yeah.
So use
And then-
flagrancy.
sure, flagrancy.
Yeah.
Crazy flagrant.
Yeah.
Crazy flagrant. Say
Sure.
anything.
Exactly.
I can say anything. I could do anything. It's all flagrant.
Just like,
it's all good.
Just like a guy from the hood who's like,
Yes.
yo, I'm hood. No, I'm the most extreme
And
hood.
then that is you have decided, my most authentic self is this. And this is something that's important to me. Comedy, something I value. I protect comedy.
Right.
And flagrancy is a part of that. You've decided that price is worth it. Now, your price,
There's
your
a
chances
time
of
where
anything
I'll be
happen.
too big. There's a time where I'll be too big to connect with everybody.
Right.
That will happen eventually.
Right.
Right now, I got to be with the people as much as I can, and I gotta. And then when I'm too big to connect with every single person like I have, or at least as many people as I could possibly touch, at that point, I'll have enough influence to affect all those people's lives even better.
Is it possible Nipsey was on that
Take
same...
it what I'm saying though.
Yes.
Take it what I'm saying. Like Gandhi, you don't need to shake hands with everybody,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Any leader, Jeff Bezos,
Correct.
don't need to shake hands with every single person, right, to affect their lives and to better people's lives.
Okay.
On the grassroots, you do,
Okay.
and eventually
Okay.
you raise them up. That's where I'm saying I think Nipsey was.
You think Nipsey had... This is the difference. You think Nipsey had gotten to eventually. I don't think Nipsey, in his mind, had gotten to eventually. I think Nipsey wasn't too big. Nipsey wasn't, like, relative to rap and you in comedy, Nipsey was probably in a pretty equivalent level. Like, motherfuckers were checking for Nipsey, but it wasn't... He wasn't Drake level. He wasn't...
I mean, that's you know, I'm not trying to look at our rose-colored glasses because he's passed away. Like, he put out an arguable album of the year this year. He was Grammy nominated. Like, this is by far his biggest year. Like, he was a mainstay at every courtside LA. Like, he was. I'm not saying he was Drake level, but he was absolutely like
He's ascending.
he was in that level ascending. Yeah,
Ascending.
yeah.
Interesting
You
point.
are. This is, and I'm going to say this. This is your time. I've said this to you off the podcast. I'm going to say it on the. This is your moment. You are ascending. So while you're ascending, you're not too big for the people yet. You can't. You're like, this is the thing that got me there. You're still on. You're doing historic things with YouTube. There is a point where Netflix will be beating down your fucking door, and you might still tell them no. I'm just saying you're on this process where you're ascending. I think Nipsey was on this process where he was ascending. He might, like, relatively speaking, I think relatively similar levels. He was still thinking, I'm not too big for the people yet. Sure, he might have been like, I'll get there probably, but right now, I'm still here. I can still affect change, whatever.
Yeah, I think there's something to it. I just think we all have to recognize the cost of the hood, and we can't like that person tweeted. It's like we can't be surprised when hood stuff happens.
It's just that my thing is with Nipsey, he was trying to change the perception of that. Like he was as street as it came, but he was also as educated as anybody came. He was as smart as anybody came, and I feel like with him, the perception of him was, if more people could be like Nipsey, the hood wouldn't be as fucking scary to everybody.
Right.
Like, it wouldn't be as fucked up. It wouldn't be as fucked up, period.
Nobody's questioning what he did, right? Nobody's questions who he was.
Nobody questions Nipsey.
There's never a question of Nipsey.
No, I'm saying, what I'm saying is...
We know. You said it. There's never about his qualities as a man.
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about just the hood in general. And you're like, yo, you got to leave the hood. What I'm saying is Nipsey was the representation of the hood.
Right.
And if his influence, the way he was ascending...
Yeah.
And that spread out to the hood in general, which it was starting to do,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be some shit where you gotta leave.
I hear you. What you're saying is, but it just seems to me like
it won't be
the
like
people that keep getting killed are the people that don't leave the hood, and the people that stay alive are the people that do. And I mean, let's look at all the rappers that end up getting shot. They're not the guys that moved to Connecticut like 50.
I'm not disagreeing
the
with
perception
you.
of the hood,
Yeah.
it failed miserably because he got killed.
I
in
won't
the
say
hood.
it failed miserably. I'm not.
The
I'm not
perception of the
disagreeing with
hood
you.
is definitely not helped by a guy getting killed in the hood by trying to help the hood.
You're right.
I'm just saying the
But
perception.
at the same time, yeah, you're right.
For now, maybe long term it'll get better, but right now the perception immediately works.
You know what the perception of the hood, how the perception of the hood would change for me is if Nipsey moved out and moved to fucking Calabasas, but kept his businesses there, kept reinvesting in it, kept building it up, kept employing people in the hood, you know what I mean, and kept doing that. As long as he can keep on keeping on, that's where you change it, and that's where all these kids go, oh shit, I can make it up. That's what Gilly was saying on Instagram. He's like, literally everybody. There's a reason Charlamagne don't live in the hood. Do you know what I mean? There's a reason everybody moves out. I'm
not necessarily sure Nipsey still lived in Crenshaw. He still had his businesses out there. But...
So then he recognized,
yeah,
on some level that you get out, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not disagreeing.
And why do you think he decided to get out?
I'm telling you, I don't disagree with you.
No, I'm just saying we acknowledge that he tried to get out because he recognizes the danger of that.
Not even he probably has a fucking huge house that probably won't fit in Crenshaw.
Right,
and
but
secondly,
he bought out the block. He could buy it if he chose. He could do it, but he recognizes there are certain dangers that are being in there, and he wants to mitigate those dangers. You know, but just because he moved out of the hood didn't mean that he didn't still support it. Wasn't 100% involved in it. What I'm saying is you can still be that influential figure as much as you possibly can. You know, you can still be part of that, and people still are. You know,
yeah.
Jay-Z still is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Diddy still is. Like,
I feel like the story that came out was one of his friends just got out of prison for like 20 years or whatever. He was going to bring him to his store to like get him new clothes. So before he went to go see like his family and shit, like he literally just got out.
right.
And what happened took no less than 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
Right.
like he was just sitting on the block like as a sitting duck.
Yeah.
You know? So and I'm not necessarily sure like his actual residence was in Crenshaw, but he visited there a lot. He had businesses out there. So you're not wrong.
Right.
I'm not saying you're wrong. All I'm saying is when it comes to that, you got to understand that the way the hood doesn't become this fucking place that you have to leave anymore because it's such a danger and because it's so scary is with people like Nipsey affecting that change so people aren't reaching for guns, aren't reaching for knives, aren't reaching for whatever. They're reaching for, Nipsey got this STEM center? Oh,
Yeah.
shit,
We
yeah.
agree,
I wanna
though.
do that.
We agree
Yeah.
on that.
No, I exactly. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Yeah. I think we agree on most things. We just disagree, I think, on
what I disagreed with was your perception of what the hood was.
which was what?
Which was, my mistake. It wasn't your perception of what the hood was. It's your take that, well, he had to leave to continue to affect change. And I didn't agree with that because that's what made him, and that's the place that he's focusing his efforts on.
But you just
so those
said that
kids,
he did leave.
No, I mean, just housing-wise. I'm talking about somebody who was still very much visible in there because he had businesses. He was building schools and tech centers and all that type of stuff.
How many days a week would you say?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
No, but I'm like, you're saying he's got to be visible there. Like, is it 1 day a week? Is it 3 days a week? Like,
if I'm in LA,
but you see what I'm saying? Like, nobody's calculating the amount of days.
But you got to go back. You got to see you got to check on your investment.
Sure.
You got to check on your investment. Like Hov still, I mean, I doubt it, but when Hov was not like super billionaire Hov, I'm sure he was still,
Who's the greatest investor in history? Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
How often do you think he checks on Coca-Cola?
Well, I don't know. He's not everybody's Warren Buffett. That's an extreme.
Nipsey could have.
That's an extreme example.
I'm putting Nipsey in rare air. That's all I'm saying. We don't have
My thing is,
we don't have to go too long on this. We've already had this conversation,
Yeah.
and we have to go too long of it. I don't think we're gonna find new
I'm
ground.
saying what comes. All I was trying to say, the point I was trying to get through was that the perception of the hood wouldn't be so scary if people took Nipsey's message and Nipsey's word and that spread.
The perception of the hood will be scary as long as it's scary. Simple as that.
And the way that's changed is through people dealing with their trauma and dealing with
Correct.
the fucked up shit that they see every day.
Correct.
Like people, like it shouldn't be so fucking. It shouldn't be so normal that like most black people I grew up with have seen somebody shot and killed.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people never see that, but for most of us, we're like, oh yeah, man, I remember that. That was crazy.
Correct.
Like nah, like that happens.
Yes. Absolutely.
My thing is once that changes, and you need people to see. You need to see people that came from the same environment.
Yes.
Change that. It's gonna stay the same. So I agree with you. I was just saying that's how
100%.
That's how you change it.
And if you guys want, check out Brilliant Idiots this week. We had a very long conversation about how the real way to change it is through understanding the pain that exists, so hurt people don't continue to hurt people. But I don't know how we got into this conversation.
I don't know. I forgot.
But anyway, we're looking.
I think
at,
we're talking about his shitty outfits.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, so we're excited. We're looking at space, and when we do lock in a space that I think could
Where
be
in
really
Brooklyn
good.
You looking?
As close to Manhattan as we possibly can afford. We looked today, I think, in
Long Island?
Bushwick. We looked in Long Island City. We looked in. Maybe there was one other thing on. I forget exactly
Long
where.
Island City, dog.
Say again.
I like Long Island City.
Yeah, I don't really.
I hate Brooklyn just cause hipsters.
Right.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah, we won't be in any hipster. I don't think I can afford any hipster neighborhood. But so you'll
All the
be
tech companies are
hipster-free.
buying it up anyway.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are moving out.
Yeah.
And
It's
there's
so funny
good
to
things.
watch hipsters get done to them what they did to the black people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you just get priced out and you can't afford it anymore. Complain about it all the time.
Like,
Yeah.
what's
And you
up?
got to go further out. Oh, it's great.
So
It's
here's
like
my
we need another
question.
Whole Foods, bro. I'm sorry.
It's like here's my question about gentrification. Right? It's like, should people just not move
oh
to
no,
New York?
I don't. I'm not even complaining about gentrification.
Answer the question though.
No, it should happen.
So like,
It's a
so we
natural
get
part
so
of-
upset at like gentrification, right? Like we hear this they're moving in and they're whatever. But like, what is the alternative? You just tell somebody from Maine, hey, your dream of moving to New York? Go fuck yourself. Stay in Maine, you
Or-
piece of shit.
or to your
eat
point-
lobster for the rest of your fucking life.
Or to
you
your-
don't need to live in New York. You don't need to follow your dreams. How fucking dare you? Your skin is white. How dare you move to America? Oh, immigrants from around the world, please come to New York.
Or to your point,
move in.
why should
Nobody's
this
upset
building
when
stay-
Mexicans move into Sunset Park.
Why should
Here's
this
the
building
thing.
stay shitty?
Here's
For
the
what?
thing.
Why should this building stay shitty? Like, of course we're going to tear it down, build a nicer building.
Right.
The rent's going to go up. This is a natural part of business.
But what I care less about is a building owner, right? I don't care about a building owner, a guy who's worth millions of dollars already, right? What I resonate with is like my mom wanted a better life, right? So she came to America. So everybody wants a better life, and you move to the big cities. The big cities give you an opportunity for a better life. And it's like we villainize these kids who are like, fuck it, I'm going to risk getting robbed for my dream.
I villainize them because of the guise of open-mindedness and progressiveness and you like the racial sensitivity. Like you do shows in Brooklyn and they're just like so sensitive and they pretend and it's like, all right, but if you came to grips with the fact that you moved a whole black family out, then maybe you wouldn't take these jokes so serious. Maybe you'd understand like we're just making jokes instead of being assholes about it. That's my issue.
Right.
Just understand what you did. Cool. It needed to happen. You needed to move here. You need a place to live. But don't come to me like you're better than me.
Did they move a black family out?
But theoretically.
If you say
Theoretically.
it, no. Who moved the black family out?
The rent?
The landlord.
Right.
The landlord chose to raise the rent.
Right.
Now, who owns the building?
I'm a Jew.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe some black folks own the building in their
I
neighborhood.
don't think it's a race thing when it comes to gentrification. I think it's just a money thing.
Hold on, buddy.
I think it's a money thing.
But we immediately decide to villainize one group.
Nobody's getting villainized. It's just that you're taking away the culture of what made that city. That's the only issue. Like if you're black and you could still afford to live in Harlem, you're still living in Harlem.
Right.
Right. The only thing is the culture of places like Harlem and Brooklyn is being taken away. Nobody's mad if you're gonna make the shitty building nicer if you can afford it. That's fine.
I don't care about the building because for me it has nothing to do with the building. Like the building owner's already rich.
It's the people that move into the city and turn Harlem into fucking upper West Side.
So here's the
That's
question. Like,
the only
what
issue.
do you
Just
expect
culturally.
them to do? No. What do you? This is my question. It's like, yeah, it's easy to go look at these assholes coming and moving people out. Even though they're not moving people out, the owners of the buildings are choosing to raise the rent so that they can make money on these new people who have a dream, right? So
nobody's
they're
upset
punishing the dreamers, right, and kicking out the black families that are already there, right? So, or profiting off of the dreamers and kicking out the black families that are there, right? But my question is, what do you expect them to do? What would you say to somebody from Maine who wants to move to New York to have a career in music or acting?
I don't care if you move wherever. My whole thing is like, you're still going to be a visitor here. You're a visitor in somebody's culture. I'm not going to disrespect the culture. Like, if I'm moving...
Are you a visitor here?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
You're a visitor in your own city that you grew up in?
Absolutely. Like, especially in Harlem. I grew up in Staten Island.
I mean in Staten Island. Are you a visitor there?
No, I'm from there.
What about your parents? Are they visitors?
Yes.
So they can't bring their culture in. But
of course they can. Of course they can. Of course they can. My thing is with them, you can't disrespect. All right. Staten Island is very, very Italian, right?
Right.
Very, very Italian.
Right.
We knew better than to move in there and try to act like everybody has to be super accepting of us, only because this is how we were brought up. And we wouldn't give a fuck either way, like if you fucked with African culture or not. If you did, that's great.
Right.
But we're not forcing that shit on you. The reason why gentrifiers get mad is that they don't just move you out, they force out the culture of that city, and especially people who built that city. Those are people's ancestors, grandfathers, grandmothers.
How do they force out? Maybe that's what I'm confused on. How do they force people out? How do they force out?
Example, what's this place called? Lennox Lounge. Yeah. Lennox Lounge in Harlem, right? New York City. That's a spot that housed many famous jazz musicians, very famous comedians, and all that type of shit, right? Once a place like that gets priced out,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's not just a business decision. That's a cultural
His point, though, is that the people
landscape.
who move in didn't have a say, and they just want to open a business and paying rent.
And that's why I'm saying, like,
so
that's why I'm saying,
Akaash,
like,
right?
I don't
here's the
mind
thing,
that.
like somebody that's coming in, right, and moving into a poor neighborhood,
Okay.
right?
Okay. That's all you can afford.
They're poor.
They're poor.
These
Poor-ish.
people are not moving to East New York or back in the
Right.
day Harlem, right, or the Bronx because they're seeing this crazy business opportunity, right? They're not shifting the culture out. Somebody with money is noticing an influx of white people and then trying to capitalize on them by moving the Lennox Lounge out. So what I'm saying is we're upset at gentrifiers, or we're upset at these white people to move in when they're actually not the ones changing the neighborhood. Matter of fact,
It's not that much of a race thing that you're making.
okay, forget race. So they don't have the money. So we're upset at this group of people who move in because they're also poor, and that's the only thing that they can afford is that neighborhood, right? And then these businesses see the white folks come in, and they're like, "Ooh, muffin shops or whatever Michael Che's joke is, right?
Yeah.
Ooh." What is it? A cheese. They like cheese. Let's sell them some cheese. Ooh, Starbucks. Let's open a Starbucks. Ooh, let's open Mission Chinese. Ooh, let's do that. They're trying to take advantage of the new white people that are in the neighborhood, or the new whatever people who make more money, whatever, in the neighborhood, and then they're pushing out those existing businesses. But these people get blamed.
Here's the thing.
Do you see what I'm saying, Akaash?
I'm just saying you ain't shit either. That's all. My entire point for people is I ain't shit either. That's all I want you to realize. Look, I have an iPhone. I need to get business done sometimes. I need to whatever. This really does fuel my dreams. Social media, even though I hate it, it's a part of what I have to do. I need an iPhone. At the same time, I understand it's made by slaves, and maybe I shouldn't be so quick to judge other people. That's my issue with the hipsters who have gentrified, or the landlords who allowed the hipsters to gentrify. Once the hipsters changed the thing and then decided their culture was the dominant culture or whatever, and
they don't decide it.
Well, fine.
Can you address what I just said, though? That's
yes,
what
but my issue is
I know.
Their pretension, and they're like, we're going to have
I
this
know
comedy
your
show.
issue.
And
you don't like the pretentiousness. But
Yes,
please,
that's-
what I'm asking you is to address
I don't
what
have
I
an issue
just
with
said.
your issue. I see what you're saying.
Right.
I think you're right.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
No, because I think
what I'm trying to explain to you is the people that are getting moved out, not by race, by money, is because these families can't afford to live here.
So his point is most of the people that
are getting moved in
do you see what
are
you hear
people
what he
that
said,
come.
though?
I do. I understand. But the people that are getting moved in most of the times, and the people that I get fucking pissed off at, is like people who come from fucking wealthy backgrounds who can afford that are like, oh, I just graduated from Princeton or whatever, and I want to get a new spot because it's cheap. And these young, what happens to be mostly white people that come from a generation of wealth already are moving into these low-income neighborhoods because they're just getting started. And slowly but surely, that pushes out people that lived there their entire lives.
I can't be mad at commerce. I can't be mad at business.
I can't be mad at it either. I understand it.
So guys, so like, again, I think we all agree there. That's not what I'm saying, right? These people, if you come from money, right, but you get a job as a teacher, you make $40,000 a year. You have $40,000. Just because you come from money, should you say, hey, mom, dad, hey, since we come from money, I'm gonna need you to give me $4,000 more in rent so I could pay. Like, you can't blame the child for the sins of the father. Right? Like that
or
that's
should
not
you make
fair.
a worse business decision and be like, let's go to the more expensive place?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. You're
so
saying
what
the gentrifiers are the landlords.
I'm saying that the cultural gentrifiers are the landlords and the Starbucks and cetera that are chasing the white people. Right? That's essentially what but the white people or whatever, wealthy people, whatever, that perceived wealthy people that move into these neighborhoods are not the bad guys. They're not. I don't think they're asking to change anything. They're simply looking for a place that they can afford so they can achieve their dream of living in the greatest city in the world, which is New York City, right? I think they're pretty innocent in that regard. If you want to go and look at Starbucks and say, how the fuck could you kick out this mom and pop taco shop that's been there for 50 years so you can do it? Hey, I'll have that combo. And I bet you those...
But that's the same combo we're having.
No, I'm saying I bet you those white folks that moved into Harlem, I bet you they'd equally be like, hey, fuck Starbucks. I don't need a fucking Starbucks. I chose to move into this neighborhood for a reason. I kind of like going to that taco shop. It was really good. I don't need a fucking... Now, if it's there, okay, I'm going to go for it. But I'm not clamoring down Starbucks' door to get it.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not... it has nothing to do with those people. It's just because they made those choices... The ripple effect, just because they don't suffer from the ripple effect doesn't mean they aren't a part of it. They aren't the catalyst of it. Like, the fact that they moved there is the reason why that mom and pop taco shop isn't there anymore, because
so they're
economically...
responsible?
No, there's no responsibility anywhere. I'm just saying economically it sucks.
It seems like there's
like,
a
as a
criticism.
If you're a capitalist, it's fine, because capitalism is what makes this country go around. So it makes sense, and I'll never be mad at that. All I'm saying is culturally, for cities like New York, the reason why you want to come to New York and Harlem and like these classic cities that you've grown up with is because of the culture that was there. And by moving in there and pricing people out who've made that neighborhood what it isn't what you fell in love with anymore. And
I
it
do
doesn't
remember this
have
thing you
to be
said
your
10
fault.
years ago, which was... People get pissed off. New York sucks. New York is this. New York is this. Nobody understands Manhattan in particular is this constantly evolving thing. It is never one thing. It is always changing. And in my 10 years, I have seen that.
Yeah.
So I will say that also to his point.
This is something
that's
quite new for people who grew up in the boroughs. I grew up in Manhattan. I grew up in East Village of Manhattan, which is probably the highest turnover rate of any part of New York City, maybe the world. Okay? So people in the boroughs... The interest in Manhattan, in New York City, and for everybody listening who's not from New York City is based on 5 boroughs, right? There's Manhattan, which is like the heart, and then you have Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, which are these other main veins, right, that go from the heart and they go back in. Essentially, that's how it works. Now, usually people just want to live and work.
Well said.
There we go. Usually people just want to look and work in Manhattan, right? And eventually it became so popular and it became so expensive because of the price, right, that a lot of people were moved out of Manhattan and they started to move into the boroughs, right? So I guess now you have this situation where I grew up in Manhattan in the East Village, right? And in my lifetime, I saw my neighborhood turn over 3 times minimum, probably 4 times. Completely turn over. St. Mark's Place, sex shops, heroin, drugs, nonstop, okay? Flipped. Japanese restaurants. This is just in one generation.
Same
completely
in Harlem.
flipped.
I've only lived in Harlem for a little less
So
than
check
10
it.
years.
So check it. That's one flip. This is 4 flips in my neighborhood. Okay? So when people in the outer boroughs are like, oh my God, the gentrifiers are coming in and they're changing everything, my reaction to them is, oh, this is your first experience of this. Oh,
Because now Manhattan, the heart got so expensive
it's like
that now even commerce has to go to the vein.
Exactly.
Like,
So
I can't even do business in Manhattan.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh wow, you guys had the privilege of your whole lives having your neighborhood stay the same. What an amazing privilege that you guys have had. Like some of us in the city have had to see our favorite restaurants close multiple times. Our favorite places to get coffee close multiple times. You know, our favorite place to get a haircut close multiple times. And that's been my entire life. So when I see it happening in the boroughs and people are like, how could this happen? I go, welcome to New York. This is New York City. This is what happens here. You're just experiencing it for the first time. This has been my whole life.
Don't be mad at even, you should be mad at express trains.
Why?
Motherfucking express train. If you off an express train, your shit is getting fucked. Because somebody's going to say, look, I can't afford 86th Street anymore. But if you're on the express train, 125th is just one more stop.
That's facts.
If it's all local, you're like, that's like 20 extra minutes. I don't want to live that far. If you want 125th express train, that's an extra 4 minutes.
Facts.
I can save $500 a month for 4 minutes.
True.
Fuck yeah. And then that's the first place to gentrify.
I lived on less
You're
than-
100% right. That's 100% right.
Yeah.
59th Street on the west side. This is why West Harlem gentrified before East
59th
Harlem.
goes right to.
Because if you're on the express line,
Right to the
you're
heart- right to
59th
the heart of Harlem.
and D train, 59th Street, Columbus Circle, all the way to 125th. You skip like 8 stops.
Yeah.
It's 4
Julian,
minutes.
Julian
I've-
McCullough had that
for
funny
4
ass joke
years.
about that. Did you hear that?
What'd he say?
Where he goes, you ever on a D train and you fall asleep and then wake up and you miss 59th Street? And he goes, and you're going to Harlem with people who wanted to go there?
Man, I remember I didn't know the express trains when I first moved here. I wanted to get off at like 72nd. I saw express. I was like, all right, bet, express. 59th Street. Past 72nd, I'm like, all right, I don't know what's going on. 81, we keep going. 86, keep going. 103, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Stop at 125th. That's a lot of streets. But that's why 125th is the first place to flip, because it's like, bro, this one stop on the express train. 6 extra minutes. Who gives a fuck?
Absolutely.
I'm saving $800 a month in rent. Easy.
I lived off that train station for about 4 years. First time I moved to Harlem, and I've seen it go from a lot of locally owned stores like your Jimmy Jazz's and your Harlem USA. Like if you watch like old Dipset videos, like basically the whole strip, right? To like Blink Fitness, Whole Foods, Banana Republic.
It is 6
Victoria's Secret, because exactly
the
like
price difference between a fucking apartment of Columbus Circle, a 1-bedroom is $6,000 a month. I bet.
The only home
way more.
way more
In
way
that
more,
building,
right,
there's
yeah,
a $50 million apartment, the 59th Street, the one you're talking about,
and
the Time
in
Warner
New
building.
York, you pay for location. Everybody says real estate is location, location, location. I didn't understand New York in particular because mass transit
Dictates your life.
sucks.
Yeah.
So it dictates everything. That's why we're always in a hurry, because the fucking trains are late. That's why New Yorkers are mean. It's because we're always running late.
just
We don't
trying
have
to get
time for
somewhere.
you.
That's
Get
why
the
we
fuck
hate-
out of my way. I'm running late.
This is
I
so
can't
funny.
I can't pay $50 million in fucking Columbus Circle, but a goddamn 2-bedroom condo in Harlem is it's $49 million less for twice as much space.
Brand
6
new
minutes.
building.
Brand new building. Gym in the building. Doorman. It's $49 million I can save for 6 million or for 6 minutes. Let's go. And then when I get there, everybody's like, oh, well, these guys are all coming. They got a little money. Let's put a business here. Let's put a Whole Foods here.
You know what's funny? It's like we want to we want to gentrify the business place so much, but not in the neighborhood.
What
right?
do you mean?
It's like, hey, all these businesses are like, hey, we need diversity hiring. We need to make sure that we have a diverse workforce, and we need to ensure we have opportunity for everybody. And then some white people are like, well, Harlem looks really nice. It's like, how fucking dare you? This is segregated.
You know what it
There's
is?
one group of people that are allowed in here.
Because a lot of you motherfuckers never had Sylvia's before. That's why. Y'all never had Sylvia's before. And thank God. Like, the only shit that hasn't been touched in Harlem is like
white people
the
love
soul.
Sylvia's.
Of course they do. That's the only reason why it's still alive.
I knew
because
Sylvia's
it's
was
that
for white white
fucking
people
good.
when Yasser Lester wanted to go there. I was like, oh, that shit got to white folks, huh?
my
Light ass
God.
Yasser.
Once they started
Yasser.
selling like the fucking cranberry sauce in cans and shit with Sylvia's face on it, I was like, oh yeah, they're never leaving. They're good. They're good to go.
And Sylvia found a way to make tons of money. Do you think that Sylvia would reverse it?
Never. Well, she's dead now, but like the family, yeah, absolutely.
Do you think the family is going, you know what? I think that we should run it back and we could. No, because
You
they
know
got
what?
a bunch of houses and buildings
Oh,
now.
they're
Yeah,
gonna get priced out
they're-
though eventually. And
Well,
they're
and
gonna be pissed.
they're gonna. Somebody. Here's the thing.
That's
Somebody's
the
gonna.
rules of the game, though.
Somebody's
That's
gonna
capitalism.
try and price them out, and then like every fucking celebrity who's ever walked through that place is gonna be like, nope. And that's when you see that shit happen, and that's when these conversations of gentrification be like, oh my god, gentrification's going too far. You know what I'm saying? Like Barack Obama ate there. Like
The only
Lil Wayne
thing-
ate there.
What's the
Like,
difference between
Interesting.
gentrification? The difference between gentrification and diversification is whether you're making money or losing money, right?
Yeah.
Diversity is what we all want when people are making money.
Right.
Gentrification is what we don't want when we're losing money.
Right.
I hey, this job needs to be more diverse. There aren't enough minorities
That's a bar,
working
though.
at ESPN.
That took me
or
a
something.
second, but that's a bar.
You see what I'm saying? Or like, there's not enough minorities working as executives at Whole Foods. So it's
Right.
like, okay, let's definitely diversify this Whole Foods a little bit more.
Yeah.
And the
But
second,
you know why they do that?
what's that?
They do that because it's good for business. You know, you want to be able to talk to not just one section of people.
They don't do it because it's good for. You think these tech companies
You
want to
don't? They
hire
don't?
women?
They
Are you
don't?
out of your fucking mind? You really think for a second? You think Google is sitting there going, "We need more ladies over here so we can get this code right"? No, they want to
Yeah.
hire Akaash and then another Akaash and then another Akaash and then another Akaash. It would be only fucking Indians if it was up to them.
And we don't like women. That shit in my blood, family.
No, but
That shit in my blood. Me and FA hate women.
dude, it's just like.
relax, bro.
You don't even let them
relax,
show their
boy.
face, dog.
It is complete horseshit that they're
Nah,
doing it
maybe not
because it makes
Google.
the product better.
Maybe not Google, but when when it's a product-based thing, I think people don't really give a fuck. Like
Diversity gets in the
But-
way of capitalism often.
all the time.
But
and when it doesn't,
when it's time to market,
no.
When it's time to
When
market, you
when
need
diversity doesn't get in the way of capitalism, you move it the fuck out the way.
Yeah.
Look at this thing called sports. Nobody's saying, hey, we need some cultural enrichment in the NBA.
Yeah, you want to talk
Yeah,
about a quota?
they
We can
do.
use an Indian on an NBA team.
It's
Yeah,
not about
we're
the
the
team.
Indians.
It's
Why is
about
it-
marketing.
But I
It's
want
about
to see an Indian face.
Oh, hold on.
the
Marketing?
fucking
There aren't
Knicks.
2 billion people in India
There's
that could
one
like it?
Indian guy in the fucking NBA, and he got a whole fucking
know,
movie
that's
about
not
him.
enough.
And he had a whole fucking movie
I
about
know,
him. You know
because-
why? Because there's a billion fucking people in India.
So why do we have just
so,
one?
So it's a smart
Because he's
business
not good
decision.
enough, and at the same time,
Why
right?
is it? Well, he's not good enough.
Oh,
Why
wait
does
a
that
minute.
matter?
What does
I
that
want to see
matter?
myself
Good enough.
reflected.
I thought.
I want to see myself
Yeah,
reflected.
When
in
I
the
said-
team.
I think
Did
we
I
should
not-
lower the standards.
Did I not
We
just
should
say?
lower the
Did I
standards
not just
so that we
say
can have
the-
more of you in there because diversity is
I
important.
just want to see myself reflected.
Y'all
Hey,
just don't like to
listen.
listen.
I think
Y'all
what,
don't like
you know
to
what we should
listen.
do? I don't think
Doesn't like to listen.
being a fireman is diverse enough.
Y'all don't like to listen.
Okay, I think we need more female firefighters. I don't care if they can't lift
What?
anybody.
Handicap firefighters.
Listen, have them go up there and get the cats. The cats are always in the fucking tree. Have them climb up the fucking tree and get the cats
You
down.
don't think handy-capable people can be firefighters?
Roll your ass into the fire.
I'm
Throw
saying.
someone on your lap.
I'm
Roll your ass
saying.
back. Come on, Professor X never stopped a fire.
Like I was
what we're
saying.
trying to say is everybody want gentrification. Everybody hates
Talking about
gentrification
diversity.
but loves diversity.
Yeah.
Right? And they're really the same thing. So choose which one you want.
They're not. And what I was trying to say
How
before
they
I
not?
got rudely interrupted
How they not?
is when it comes to marketing, when you have a good to sell, you need diversity because you want to sell to as many different people as possible. In a performance-based job, we just hire the people who do the job best.
What job isn't performance-based?
That's all I'm talking about. So
What
when it
job
comes
isn't
to-
performance-based?
What job isn't performance-based?
What job is not performance? Because you said in a performance-based job,
good question.
you want the people who do the best. My argument would be every job is performance-based at the end of the
Okay.
day.
For example, marketing is a performance-based job. You're correct. So you mean to tell me if you're marketing a product, you can tell, all right, Akaash, you work for Google. We need you to market Google to women. Could you do the job?
Yes,
I'm sure you could, and I'm sure he could.
easily.
Would a woman do a better job than you marketing to women
No.
about Google?
Not at all.
Exactly. So it's a performance-based gig.
What are we
No, she
marketing?
wouldn't do a better job.
She wouldn't do a better job.
Are we marketing cookbooks?
Hold on. So you think
What
you
are we
think
marketing?
so you
Cleaning
think
supplies?
so
You're an asshole.
I gotta find the fun,
So
man.
you-
We finally found the fun.
so
Let
you
us have it.
think you think that marketing is not a skill in and of itself. You
No, I
think
think it
it's
is a skill.
directly dependent on your gender or race.
Can you repeat that?
So you think that marketing is not a skill itself that you can be good at. You think it's directly dependent on your gender or race.
No, I think gender and race is part of the skill of marketing.
So if you're a woman, that automatically makes you better at marketing than like the best male marketer.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
Seems
if,
like it's what you're saying. That's
no,
what I'm asking.
I
to
literally
clarify.
just said what I was saying.
You just said you think you'd be better at marketing to women than a woman, and I said yes, and he said yes, and then you thought that was an absurd answer.
I don't think it was an absurd answer. I'm saying it
would
wouldn't
be
matter
absurd.
the gender. It's who does the job best.
Exactly. So what if that's a man? Like,
All right. So if there's a woman that works at Google that does the job better than Akaash, how is that? Who gives a fuck about hiring 100 Akaashes if there's a woman who could do the job better?
and what we're saying is that there are way more men that are applying for those jobs, right, in tech, right, that actually have higher scores,
Yeah.
that actually are more qualified, and because the tech companies care about diversity in terms of gender and in terms of race, that they're accepting people who don't do as well, but they have this other qualification that has nothing to do with the merit of the job. That is,
I could argue with you. I could argue that part of the merit of the job is seeming like a diverse company. Like in 2019,
And that's
if you
what
look
annoys us.
if you look diverse, people will want to spend money with you.
If we're being honest,
Like I'm more willing. Like if Aquafina
Yo.
was a black-owned company, I'd be like, yeah, we drink at Aquafina. I don't care how terrible the water
sure,
is.
but you gonna Google regardless. You're not gonna ask Jeeves.
'Cause
I don't care how many black chicks that are answering to AskJeeves.com.
if Jeeves was a black dude, you asking Jeeves, or you going?
If there was a black Google, I'd use it.
That was Bing.
No, it wasn't. Fucking Microsoft.
No,
If there was a black dude that like made a fucking Google alternative search engine,
You would try
I
that
would
shit.
absolutely use it.
If it's not as good as Google, you going back. But I'll say this
But
to your
I
point.
try it.
To your point about the marketing, if I want to market to women, I might say, hey, a woman would be better for this job. But our issue is the push for diversity in all areas shouldn't matter unless it matters. You know what I mean? We shouldn't just be diverse for the sake of the face that we can. I'm not some fucking dog. Case Rosso, a good friend of mine, said some shit with liberals. He goes, there's a lot of mascotism.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's our black friend. Let's parade around our black friend and show we got a black friend. Companies, there's a lot of mascotism.
That's
I don't want
true.
to be your fucking mascot. If you're a company that doesn't need have an Indian and you need one to shut people up, don't hire me. I don't want to be your fucking mascot.
Hire
I'm
you
good.
because
Hire me because I'm the best.
he's the best.
If I want to market to a woman, yeah, I can see the merit of a woman being better. I was joking, but definitely. So that's when I'll hire a woman. If it's just everything else, if it's just who's best, I'm going to look at who's best.
So-
and in that situation, a woman's the best.
Rent to me because I'm paying the most.
Valid. No,
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with
Yeah,
that.
it's capitalism. It's America. Nobody's saying it's wrong.
I
I've
have
never
not-
said you were wrong for this. I've
just
never
saying,
said you were
I
wrong for this.
understand
I'm saying culturally, this is why people get pissed off.
I
at
understand the
gentrification. That's all I'm
black
saying.
landlord that has, invested their life savings in this 3-story walk-up building, and they have the opportunity for the first time in their life to really capitalize on this investment by selling it to a couple white girls whose parents are going to guaranteed make that rent every single week. It's going to be, maybe 30% higher than they were charging for the rest of the people in that neighborhood. And if that black family took this massive risk on buying that property a long time ago and worked through it their whole life so they could finally get to the position where they could really capitalize, they should not do it to maintain the culture of their neighborhood. They should continue to suffer and almost not pay their rent to maintain the culture of the neighborhood. No, get your money. Get your money, black family. I believe in black business.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I got pissed.
Would you be upset if like Chinatown was priced out or Little Italy was priced out?
Little
Like
Italy
those?
was priced out by Chinatown. I watched it happen every single day of my life. It was down the block from me. And Chinatown, if you go down to Chinatown, which started on Canal Street and is now bled into Little Italy, Little Italy is turned into 2 streets. It's literally 2 streets. Now, are the Italians upset at it?
No, but you.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I don't give 2 fucking shits because my neighborhood became Japanese. I grew up being able to buy weed a block from my house. Okay, now I can buy udon. Udon is good.
Udon is very good.
If I had some weed, it'd be even better. That'd be the perfect scenario. All right? So it's like, yes, I guess I'm so familiar with the gentrification of neighborhoods because I grew up around it. It was just this normal thing to me. And I think people in the outer boroughs had the privilege of no change in their neighborhoods. So they're so shocked that change could possibly reach them. And it's almost like some like rich... To me, I look at it as like some like rich, like liberal elites. They're like, oh my God, they're coming for us. How could they? How could they change our neighborhood? You know what I mean? Like, it's like...
But that's why, a great way to circle back. That's why Nipsey Hussle was so important. Because this guy was buying back the block. He was buying back these neighborhoods. And he wasn't pricing motherfuckers out. He was like, with a lot, not just him, like a lot of black entrepreneurs. That's the reason why people are trying to get black people into real estate, especially
I love it.
in black communities.
I love it.
Because it's like, fuck, like if we want to keep the culture here, all right, get some rich black people to come back, buy some property, and rent it out to some black folks.
I love it.
You know? Right, black folks that can afford it.
I love it. I love everything Nipsey stood for.
I see you breaking off the piece of it.
I can't be. I can't be.
I'm mad you didn't shake it like sunflower seeds.
I can't do it. I can't eat a banana like I used to. The culture has changed. The culture of banana eating has changed. I eat that shit like a harmonica.
like a quarter of a Oh God, that's hilarious.
Anyway, blame Indians.
Blame the fucking Indians.
Blame the fucking Indians. You guys came through, fucked up the game.
We don't give a fuck. Blame us for whatever.
That's true. We got to get an Italian, dude, because Chinese have really just located Italian neighborhoods and just moved in. It is really funny. It's like it was a direct strike.
Oh, they're just outnumbered.
Chinese literally went in and they were like, okay, where should we move in? To these black neighborhoods? I saw do the right thing. Let's find these Italian neighborhoods.
I was going to say Menace to Society.
That would
have been the better comparison.
It's been too many movies.
The better one.
Too many movies. We've seen World
Hurry up
Star.
and buy.
We're not doing this shit. So they looked at the Italian neighborhoods and they're like, these are some pretty cheap rents. They're a little bit far out there, but we'll do our thing. Yeah. And you can talk to Italians, and every one of them will say that the Chinese have moved into the neighborhood and it's starting to change the neighborhood. And hey, they're pissed off about it. Tough luck, Italians.
Tough noogies.
That's what happens.
Tough titty.
You getting Columbus out here?
Columbus
I know. I'm getting shogunned in my neighborhood.
I mean, that's America, man. That's why I never thought it was a black and white thing. That's why I kept saying like, yo, it's not a race thing. It's not a race thing. It's class.
Yo,
it's culture,
when I was buying
money,
my apartment,
like,
bro, I got outbid by 3 different apartments by Chinese from China.
Wow.
That offered straight cash.
Of course, that was gonna be my guess. Remember, Premium Pete said that.
Yeah.
They offer straight cash for everything.
Yeah.
Just don't give a fuck. Straight cash. How are you gonna beat that?
I can't beat it. I didn't have that money straight cash.
Geez.
You know, and I would offer the exact amount that the people wanted, and they would say no because the Chinese folks were offering straight cash. And oftentimes it wasn't Chinese people from America.
Never.
It was Chinese people from China trying to get their money out of China in a safe way. And Russians too, straight cash. And it was one of those things I got fucking pissed off. I was like, man, this fucking sucks. For another reason, I don't know if you should be able to. I think if you're in America, buy wherever you want. But I think there should be some sort of rule like Bermuda has this cool rule where you can't buy in Bermuda unless you're Bermudan.
Singapore got that.
Singapore got right.
Really?
Different housing prices for Singapore citizens and non-Singapore citizens.
Boom. And it's one of those things where it's like it kind of protects us a little bit, like Americans. Like we're paying his taxes, we're creating.
Again, though,
this
pure
environment.
capitalism is
yeah.
I'm taking the cash.
Yo,
and I
don't knock it. I don't knock it.
I have a hard time knocking it.
I don't knock
So
it.
does that mean we're getting a new space?
Oh,
I think that's
some
where we
fucking
started.
Chinese doesn't buy us out of it. Guys, should we talk some deportes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's fucking
Russ,
do it.
should we talk about Russ?
Yo, man, I love this motherfucker.
Woo!
I really
Okay.
do.
Boy,
break
oh boy.
break it down.
My God, give him the MVP.
So Nip was a rolling 60, right?
Yeah,
that was
he
his.
came
That
from
was
the
his
60s.
set.
Mhm.
He was a 60. So Russ put up 20, 20, and 20. Wow. 60 for Nipsey.
Yeah,
60 for the 60.
Just outside of culturally, like
Well, the 60s
athletically,
Crips, right?
Yeah, it's Crips.
I thought he was blood for some reason.
Nah,
It's always
that
somewhere
was
in red.
this sign right here. Anytime he hit a 3, he'd do this,
Okay.
and that's like the 6s 2 times.
Oh, shit.
And
Wait, was Russ rolling 60s?
yeah, well,
Oh.
his dad was. His dad was a Crip.
Really?
Yeah. So was James Harden. There's a lot of Crips in the NBA.
And interesting.
And the funny thing is, Jason Terry gave him the interview, also a known NBA Crip.
Really?
Yeah.
Jason Terry too cute to be a gangbanger.
See, you're not looking, man. You're not looking, bro. Like a lot of these guys, that's what I'm
Look like
telling
a little
you.
mouse.
You would be surprised how many people are gang affiliated, man. And it's not this whole in the NBA, and it's not even NBA, just in sports.
This is
period.
another thing to acknowledge, though. West Coast gangs very different than East Coast gangs in that you're a product of your. It's almost how like Europeans are about soccer teams, where you're a product of your neighborhood.
Right.
So DeMar DeRozan that grew up in this like notoriously, I think, blood neighborhood.
Yeah, Compton. Yeah.
Right.
I forgot the actual neighborhood.
I don't know
Compton.
the name of the set.
Yeah.
But he's not a banging blood, but his family is, everybody around him is, so he is part of that community.
I know for a fact like DeMar DeRozan was like one of the most like coveted, like protected,
Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like dudes in the hood.
Yep.
But like I forgot who said it. I think it was Vince Staples. Vince Staples like, I wish somebody would try DeMar DeRozan. Because he's one of the most like you don't fuck with that dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
he's
saying?
also
And
6'7" and
yeah,
like a
no,
genetic freak.
of course. But
I'm
it's
saying
like,
in the NBA though, like he wants to see Vince Staples. He wants to see DeMar DeRozan scrap in the NBA because he's like, I wait for the day.
so he
somebody
must know some shit about
Oh,
DeMar
for
DeRozan.
sure.
And
I guess what I'm saying is like, so you grew up in this neighborhood and your affiliation is much different, whereas in New York, gangs are much more, I am joining said gang, I am repping said gang. Like, we live on top of each other, so you can be in a building that has 5,000 people in it, and not 5,000, but like hundreds of people in it, and it's like, no, I'm not a Latin king. I mean, they live on the third floor, but I'm just Puerto Rican. I'm just regular old Puerto Rican.
No, I mean, but for some gangs, like especially in LA, it's a lot more geography based.
That's
so
what I
like
said.
certain blocks.
Yeah.
But in the East Coast and like other cities that aren't LA, a lot of times it's made in like prisons or certain neighborhoods.
I
And like,
think that's what he just
and
said.
it's no, I'm just giving context to the story.
So Wes is Crip, and so he was putting up 60 for.
Yeah.
I had no clue Westbrook was a Crip.
Yeah, well, his father more specifically, and with Russ.
It's like having parents that went to a certain school, so you're just a fan of them. Is that what it's like?
Nah, but it's like that's what I'm
Now,
trying to.
how does Crip work? Is it like Judaism, where if you come out of the mama Crip, you're a Crip, or is it like Islam, where if you come out of the dad's balls,
I honestly
you're a
don't know.
It's gotta be dad.
I honestly don't know,
I think
but
is
It's
it
got to be dad.
Efe?
Oh yeah, as the Crip correspondent from the West Coast.
It's definitely like Islam, right? If your dad's a Crip,
Oh, he
you're a
doesn't say
Crip.
everything is like Islam.
Damn, Akaash, why
That
you
was a
gotta be so
lot,
angry, bro? Just because they gentrified all of Asia doesn't mean.
I mean,
y'all really complaining about some fucking upward rent. You know what I mean?
if you want to talk about gentrification, Bethlehem's the Muslim city, for example, which is the holiest.
Bethlehem.
Bethlehem, where Jesus was born, is in Palestine.
Yeah.
The most important Jewish site is taken over by 2 mosques.
Really?
So, and Istanbul was like the most important
So
city.
you guys are the OG gentrifiers.
All religion,
Turks
Christianity.
especially are the OG gentrifiers.
The Ottoman Empire.
Kaz,
Well,
you
it-
Christian
calm
because
down,
of
mate.
gentrification.
Yeah.
Really, end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. But my dad was raised Muslim, so like, but I was.
Oh,
with
so
my mom,
technically you're
so-
Muslim.
Yeah, I have a Muslim name. My name is super Muslim.
Yeah, it's
Cause?
a man,
Raised
Muslim.
Christian.
Yeah.
Cause.
I didn't trust him for a long time.
But
'cause of his name.
Russell West. But with Westbrook, I gotta put that like just at an athletic feat. That's up there with like Kobe's 81.
2020 and 20 's
That's
pretty
up there
fucking
with
crazy,
fucking
dude.
like that. When you do some shit that only Wilt's done.
Yeah.
And you're a fucking point guard.
Yeah.
Bruh. Like motherfuckers, I don't think motherfuckers. There's a lot of people.
How did he
too with the-
choose to do it?
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what's so shocking.
The
Did
fact
it
that he
happen
knew he was going for 2020.
organically, or do you think that he literally said, "I'm getting 2020," and then got it?
It helps
I
that
was
the
that.
Lakers are terrible.
He
It was
said that.
apparently that. Apparently
Yeah.
they tried to get him out of the game. He was like, nah.
He was like, "Nah, I'm not
coming
sitting
out of the
out."
fucking game.
He came in with the Crenshaw shirt. He had the Crip sneaker, like the blues in his sneakers. Like he came cripped up to the game and said, "I'm going for this is what I'm going for today." It helps that the Lakers are terrible, but like he fucking went for it today. And
Imagine having that power to drop a
this
2020
dude's will
In the NBA.
is
whenever you want.
unbelievable. Bro. I'm willing to put him at like a top 3
Imagine
most
how
athletic
good
player
a gang
ever.
member he
Oh,
would
yeah.
have been. Dude, imagine how many murders would have happened if
my
he would
God.
just stay in
You're
the
too
gang.
You're connecting gangs too much to murders. It's not only murders. All right.
Are you about to defend gangs?
Yes. Several times. I will do that all the
Why
time.
are you taking the fun
I will
out
do
of
that all the time.
everything?
By defending gangs?
Yes, by defending
Oh my God,
gangs.
bro. Y'all.
Yes.
Y'all need to be around more people, bro. Like
I had a
y'all
great joke
y'all are
about-
some very cultured
I
folks.
had a great drive-by
but to
joke
just
coming.
assume
Who better at driving than Russell Westbrook? It's a fucking. I was ready. We were gonna have some
You can
fun.
still say the
and then
fucking
you come in
joke.
with your motherfucking History Channel ass
Not
voice.
all
on.
How,
gangs,
bro?
Not all gangs are about
Damn,
murdering and
gang.
drugs,
Nah,
guys.
they're not. I'm sorry.
all.
I'm sorry
Listen.
for coming with factual statements. My bad.
yes.
Next time I'll just shut
You
the
want
fuck
to know?
up.
You want to know why Nipsey was so special? Is
Why?
because he was the one guy who wasn't doing the gang shit with the gang.
He's not.
That's why he's special. He was the exception to the
Oh
rule.
God, he's not the exception to the rule.
Okay, who's
There's
the other
plenty
one?
of people. You ever heard of a motherfucker named Snoop Dogg? He's a pretty fucking famous Crip. He's not out there banging. He still very much reps his set everywhere he goes. I just named you 3 NBA players that you didn't know were fucking Crips that proudly bang every fucking game.
How's Zach Randolph? What is he up to in the offseason?
What?
What? What does Zach do in the offseason? Do you know? And he's what his affiliation
What
is
does Zach
about?
Randolph have to do with this right now?
Oh, okay. Oh no, it's Kaz knows. He's just playing dumb right now.
Whatever.
You know
Whatever.
exactly
You
what
know
I'm
what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right?
we all
We're
know
talking
it's
about
good.
Russell Westbrook and that
Yeah,
fantastic athletic feat that he pulled off
Okay,
last
okay,
night.
Okay.
I think he needs to go to
that's
Adam
it.
Silver and have that 1 assist rescinded, so it's
Hey,
not 21 assists.
Akaash, would you like Kaz to explain to us all the beautiful and philanthropic endeavors of the gang
That's
communities?
funny.
No,
That's funny.
I don't know because he's gonna do it. And I'm
Exactly, I will do it.
He don't-
I
he
will
don't
do
fucking
it.
do it.
I'm sorry
This
for
ain't
coming
a
with
factual
facts.
podcast.
I'm
We're
sorry.
not analysts. We're assholes.
I'm the
That
hell.
same thing applies to gang warfare. Believe it or not,
bro, what
we're
are
not
you
gang
supporting,
analysts.
bro?
All right, motherfucking Marv Albert of gang warfare.
Y'all got it, yo.
God
Y'all
damn,
got it.
I'm out here. Is Chuck
got
and
it.
Kenny
We
talking
Can't
shit?
even criticize gangs.
No.
What
No.
has happened where we can't even be critical of gangs? Can we be critical of the mafia? Why don't we just put a white face on it and see if it's okay?
As
Can we be
fucking
critical of-
mythologized as the mafia is, of
They're
course.
scum.
Oh my god,
They're
they're scum now.
scumbags.
They're scum now. They're pop culture fucking icons. Are you kidding me?
You talking about what my opinion?
No, I'm talking about in general.
I'm talking about my opinion.
Okay, your opinion's fine.
That
Nobody's
was
talking
my
your
opinion about
All right.
gangs.
All right. Okay.
Here's what
All
I
right.
would say. If
I got
made a
no
joke,
dog.
if I made a joke about the mafia and killing people, and Andrew was like, "Well, you don't remember the family values of," I'd be like, "Yo, suck my fucking dick, Andrew. What are you talking about? What the fuck is this? I don't fucking."
Listen, they kiss their kids and make them pancakes.
I don't even. It's not even whether it's good or bad. We making jokes. God damn.
I'm
Akash,
sorry.
they
I'm
still
sorry.
pronounce the Italian words with the Italian
I'm
accent.
sorry. Y'all got it.
Kaz,
Y'all got it.
Kaz, what do you think of Hamas?
What?
Oh, now we cooking.
What did you say?
What do you think of Hamas?
What
What do you think about terrorism? What about like terrorist groups?
Oh my god.
Are there
Is
some
it throwaway
positive?
comments?
This is what we're doing.
No
We're
comment.
comparing gangs to terrorists. Is that what we're doing?
100%.
All right, y'all got it. I can't have this convo with y'all then.
Wait, you don't think that they're terrorized their
No,
community?
I can't have that convo with y'all then. Like I can't.
You don't think that
You
gangs
have one
take
vision.
advantage of
You
their
have one
community?
vision of what gangs and what gang members do.
Yeah.
And I have a lot. And I've seen. I feel like I've seen more of what gang members do than you do.
I don't wanna
So
have
you're
the conversation.
all right then. Then we're good. Let's keep it with Russell Westbrook.
Do you think
Let's
it's
keep it with athletes.
Do you think it's fair that the gangs maybe market the worst shit that they do instead
Who
of the
markets
good?
it? You watch it. There's so much other shit that they do that you
Market.
turn a blind eye to.
Just I'm talking about the marketing, like maybe in the music, for example. Like maybe they're talking more about the wild shit that they're doing instead of the philanthropic endeavors. Is that fair to say?
They talk a lot about their philanthropic endeavors. It depends on what you're listening to.
Gotcha.
They do. And I'm not trying
Guys,
to
this
convince you
is
to
fun.
change your mind.
Hey, let's think of other things that we could make good
right.
arguments for. Hamas is a good one. What about
right.
the Pearl Harbor? What did we not understand about that?
Okay.
Okay.
Listen, you could go
break down Pearl
that
Harbor.
you can
Let's
go
go.
that way as much as you want to, bro. Like,
don't
but
understand the
comparing-
Japanese. The Japanese-
All right, y'all got it. I got it. Never mind. I'm tapping out.
I want to learn more.
I'm tapping out, bro.
I want because I don't.
I'm not gonna
understand.
change. I'm not gonna change your opinion on this,
If we
and that's
cannot
fine.
be critical of any gang behavior.
I'm not saying to not be critical. I'm just saying there's many other things that
Damn,
go
if
into
we
and to
wanna-
focus on all they do is murder people.
Do you want to
It's
know?
like
Do you want to know what I think about these gangs? And this is a Effie argument. I think they're white supremacists. Because they
Let's
do
move on to the next
they do the
subject.
role of, and this is FA's argument, but they carry out the role of white supremacists,
All I'm saying is,
right? Well, don't they have the exact? They sell drugs to the community, and this is anybody who does it to their own community. Sell drugs to the community, murder the old people in the community. Isn't that what white supremacists want?
I'm not gonna see if I give you the fucking history lesson. And it's like, oh, how are you gonna do that?
Yes, I
So,
know. The
y'all-
Bloods and Crips
never
start to protect their
mind.
neighborhood and da-da-da.
Next subject. Let's talk more sports. Fuck it.
Just saying.
Fuck
Don't
it.
do the white supremacists work for them.
It's not the white, bro. All right, so bet. So when it comes to that shit, right? When it comes to that shit, like, nah, never mind. You know what? I'm good. There's no point. There's no fucking point. Like, you have your vision of what gang culture is, and that's totally okay.
My
because
vision is
there's
based
a part,
on
that is a
Monster
part of
Cody
that.
Scott's incredible biography. Have you read it?
I read it. That's how I knew about the Rolling 60s.
Me too. I learned all about them there. That was pretty crazy.
That shit was wild.
He left out the philanthropy. Maybe that will be in the second book. Do you think the second book, like, you know, the first book when he was just 14 and shooting at random people? You remember that one? Hey, Akaash, you know that one? Maybe in the second book he'll talk about all the, I don't know.
Remember the initiation we had to shoot 3 people?
Oh yeah, when he shot those 3 people.
But he
he
probably did community service afterward. Like, he probably picked up the litter around the bodies afterward. Oh my God.
Bro, I don't understand how you're making this argument, Kaz. I have no. It's just like, do we need police reform?
I don't even care about the argument. I just want to have fun. That's all.
Me
We're gonna
too.
Make jokes about
I'm just saying,
everything.
like, we could make a blanket statement on all police from a very small subset of police interactions, right? And we could go, we need to reform all police, and then we go and look at gang interactions, right? And it's like, well, you don't know all these gang members. You don't know exactly what they do. The majority of the police are protecting people and helping people, but we have no problem going, let's change that. The second we're critical of gangs, it's like, you don't know.
When it comes, never mind. Y'all got it. I'm not even gonna. There's nothing to say.
That Hamas one really got him, I think.
No, it's not,
It was
bro.
meant to
Because
be a
like
throwaway
nobody's
joke,
saying like
and it just
all,
destroyed
nobody's saying
something.
all police is fucked up. Are there some police officers that need to fucking reform? Absolutely. So what do? You train them differently because the training at the. Never mind. Y'all got it.
They just need better gang academies.
Never mind.
That's a funny movie, Gang Academy.
Gang Academy, dude.
Just like a bunch
Seriously.
of misfits coming together.
the shit y'all-
Bloods and
the shit y'all
Crips.
choose to joke around about
Yo,
is
guys,
wild.
on
That's the point of the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
What does that say?
Yeah.
What is it? Does it
That's
say
the- we on the
safe
Patreon,
to?
are we not?
Does that say safe to?
All right.
We're not doing this podcast with DeRay.
Okay, that's fine. Everybody's got their shit that they don't joke about. I got my shit, so y'all got it. Next topic.
I feel like you got more than just gangs that you don't joke about, but whatever. The point is, if that's the
I think
one
Gang
line,
Academy is interesting. I think because nobody understands. Like, I've shot a gun, right?
have you?
I have shot a gun. Very difficult. Can't imagine doing it driving. I just can't. Adding that element. Do you know what I mean? Also, another thing you don't understand is how the cars bounce with the hydraulics. Like, imagine trying. It's like, why are they missing? It's like, that's hard, bro. That's fucking. And they're rolling down the street smoking Indo.
I mean, oh man, oh my God, it's so funny.
Kaz,
Fuck.
what's wrong, bro? This is Patreon.
I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling, bro. I'm
Kaz McKesson.
chilling.
Now Kaz got me nervous, man.
I'm not nervous. I'm chilling,
Kaz got
bro.
me nervous,
Why
bro.
you nervous? It's
I don't know,
Patreon,
bro.
baby.
I don't know. I think Kaz knows something we don't know.
If any gang members would like to do community service and show us and prove us wrong, we here. You know
Yo,
what I
you're
mean?
right. You know what? If the gang members listening right now, you know what? Any gang members that are listening to this right now, okay? For real. If you're listening to this podcast right now, I would like you to prove us wrong by not killing us.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really fantastic.
Now, if you do kill us, I would just like this audio to go out everywhere just to prove how right we are. And I would like a personal apology from Kaz. Kaz has to personally apologize to everybody and say that, you know what, Schulz and Akaash were right. All gang members do is murder. They have no sense of humor whatsoever.
I don't even want a eulogy apology. I want you to find me in my next life. And I want an apology as a fucking
And a
infant.
person
I want an infant apology on a bib. Tie that shit around me with love.
Jesus.
With
Or a
love and
bandana.
remorse.
Why not just use a bandana?
Oh gosh, oh, hilarious.
We did find some funny, man. Took us a little bit.
That shit took a long time.
It
I'm so
really
happy
did,
we got
man.
there.
God, how long are we in? We're 125. Yo, sorry it took about an hour and 15 to get to the funny, man, but we just needed to bulldoze until we got there. We needed to fucking That's when it's most fun for me.
I just want to say that I'm not a fan that you said to kill us. I don't know why.
Nobody can see you, Eddie. You're fine.
They gonna find your voice.
Nobody
They gonna
can
walk
see
down the
you.
street
You think
looking
they're
for
gonna
Mexicans?
just shoot only you guys in one room?
Oh, they're coming in here?
Oh my
mean-
god.
I don't know where we at.
Shit.
All I'm saying is
You are obviously also misunderstanding gangs. They're gonna come here, renovate. We've been trying to get renovations going for a long time. It's like it's gonna be like Habitat for Humanity.
They just kick in the door, pull in. Who needs some drywall? Who needs some drywall? Everybody on the floor. Let's lay this linoleum. Put your hands in the air. Now paint up and down. Up and down.
oh my gosh.
Fuck, bro. We figured it out.
Guys,
Yeah.
are you Blue Lives Matter?
Man, shut the fuck up. What the fuck? What's your little quips? What the fuck is
No.
the fuck is that
That's a
about?
good. That's a crip joke. That's a
Come
crip
on,
joke.
Blue Lives Matter. Come on, dog. Stop
Crips,
that
get
shit.
it? Crips.
I get the job.
He is though.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Blue Lives Matter. All gang lives matter. To me. We can be all gang lives matter.
Okay, that's so funny. Oh my god.
All right.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. Yes, that's the point, Kaz. Get on board.
Come on,
Oh
Kaz.
my gosh.
Come on, Kaz.
You don't
Come
even
on,
got a
Kaz.
job to protect. WWE already fired you. What the fuck?
Yo, that crossed the line, bro. That
Well, you can't protect two things. I get if you got one thing that you're like, don't joke about this. But if you got two things, then what the fuck? You got a lot of things that we can't joke about is all I'm saying.
He's making a good point.
What are a lot of things we can't joke about?
Gangs is pretty crazy that I can't
I
make
didn't say
gang
the
jokes.
gangs.
I didn't say.
It was
never
seeming that
mind.
you can't make. We could make.
All
fun
I
of
said
gangs.
was to think all they do is fucking murder people isn't the.
I don't
most
care.
wise
I don't
thing.
think that they
All
murder.
right then.
They're bad at
Fuck.
shooting. They do a lot of missing. I think if they were better, I think it's mostly missing, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Do they miss a lot?
I think in like Chicago, they'll be like, 40 people shot, 1 died.
Oh man. You think
get
you
tickets
think when
to
they
my show.
volunteer tutoring other gang members, they're teaching them about where the vital organs are? Or is that a lesson they're skipping in the tutorial?
Thank God there's no Indian gangs, because y'all
Bro,
would be efficient
we'd
with that
be
shit.
nice.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Damn, yo.
Oh fuck.
Never been killed with a cricket stick.
Think
What is
of
that
the-
thing called?
Think of the drugs we could sell because we could get all
It's
the
called a
prescriptions.
cricket bat?
Cricket bet.
You guys would sell the prescription.
We get all the Vicodin, bro. We sell everything. Ain't nothing we can't get our motherfucking hands on if we start gangbanging. Oh my god.
Okay.
Andrew makes a joke once every 2 weeks about Indians raping everyone. That's what we do.
Yeah.
He constantly makes jokes about Indians being rapists. That's what we do.
Yeah. They have a lot of rape out there. They have a lot of rape out there. I mean, they do
What a
have.
fucking sentence.
They have a lot of rape out there. They have a lot of rape out there. They do.
I don't know why that makes me laugh so hard.
Dude, but it's true. But
It's like saying they got a lot of tourists there.
they got a lot of rape. No, it's they got a lot
but
of rape.
with rape.
Bro, a lot of rape. A lot of rape. It's a lot of rape out there. But you got to understand, like, if you look at the Karma Sutra, right?
It's not
Does
the
that-
Karma Sutra.
what is it called?
Karma.
Kama Sutra.
Word?
Karma Sutra
Yeah.
made like you did some shit and it came back around to you.
Well, I thought that's why they fucking. It's
like
some good ass
karma's-
karma. It's like I did something good. Now she gonna let me hit it from the back, right? I really thought it was karma.
Makes a little sense, to be honest with you.
But if you look at the Kama Sutra, right? Like if you look at it through the lens of like a lovely, kind, polite Indian, it's a beautiful book, right? But if you look at it through a rapist, not a lot of that shit looks consensual. It looks like the girl's running away in a lot of those pictures, son. Like the girl's legs are up here. Look, she looked like she's trying to get out of a trap. So I think it's more of a rape book. If you, I don't think y'all realize this, but it's more of a rape book, guys. If, like, can you get up some images of this what is it? Kama Sutra?
Kama, K-M-A, Sutra.
Oh, C-A-K-M-A?
K-A-M-A.
Kama Sutra. You got it up?
Oh my god.
Because let's go just for, let's do number one. Number one position. Okay. Ready? Okay.
That's not rape.
Whoa.
Yeah, that looks pretty
You
consensual.
can't even fuck right
She's
there.
holding back too. She's holding also.
Okay. Ready? Go right here.
I'm not
Go
gonna
right
say.
here.
I'm not gonna say you wrong fully.
Click. Wait, what happened? No, what happened to the one I wanted? Okay, hold on.
Okay, there's definitely one.
That's
that looks
definitely
like,
the figure
hold on.
four.
Hold on.
That's not the figure four?
Hold on a second. How would you like you just click that one right there and just tell me how?
All right, that looks like...
That looks like what's up.
resisting
To be
arrest.
honest with you, that looks like what's up. That should look like a good time for a
You're
bitch.
under arrest.
I was about to say, like, that looks like she's resisting arrest. Like,
Hey, that's the Blue Lives Matter sex position right there.
Go to the next one. Go to the next one.
That's what's up right there.
Click next. Okay, this girl's definitely she's passed out. That's Cosby.
Yeah,
On the
but
way
like,
to the bedroom,
to
guaranteed.
quote you from last time, what rapist wants to make you feel wonderful? Ain't no pussy eating rapist.
This is not
out there.
me. This is Patrice.
Yeah,
Go.
that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Okay.
fire height. That's just head.
Yeah, that's
What's-
She's trying to sneak between his legs. She's trying to sneak out.
All right.
Next one.
I
Oh,
don't-
she's asleep. Bro,
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't realize that
yo,
she's
her
asleep
eyes
in
are
every
dead
single one of
closed. I didn't see her
these? She
face
passed
until
out. She's dreaming, bro.
From pleasure.
Bro, next position. Look at this guy sneaking into the bed all cute. She passed out. Give me one position where she's awake.
Bro, that's just pleasure.
Nah, bro. This is
The rape feels very
She's
good.
waking up like, yo, where was I? What's happening?
That one definitely
Concubine.
looks like an
That
escape.
looks fire.
That was
That-
kind of dope.
Yeah, I was
I ain't gonna lie, that was hot. My ankles won't bend that well. But I don't even know what he's doing.
Hot lunch.
Hot lunch. These aren't actual Kama Sutra positions, I'm going to be honest with you, but we're having fun.
They're not.
No.
You looked up all them,
I've seen like...
Why is this man doing his hands?
fam. That shit looks so difficult, B. Like you know
Yo,
how much
that
upper
is-
body
that
strength
is
you
That's
gotta
why we
have?
do yoga,
much,
dog.
yo.
Bro,
That's
she looks
why we
like
do
she's
yoga.
smelling a plant.
That's a single leg fucking clover leaf.
Yeah. That's a leg lock. It's a fear
Keep going. What the fuck?
That was loving. That was mad loving.
That's it? The plow.
It's too much. This is too much exercise.
It's a lot. You got to be
Yo,
strong.
you got to be in wild good
I'm
shape for
over
any of this.
Indian's not strong enough
Okay.
for all this.
next
That's
next
great.
sport. Next sport, my friend.
Oh, fuck. You heard Conor McGregor about to get his ass beat again?
By whom?
Khabib.
They're gonna do the
course.
fight again?
Nope. But he talking crazy shit. Let me read the quotes.
Really?
On Tuesday night, McGregor took shots at the wife of his last opponent, Khabib Nurmagomedov, whatever, on Twitter saying, quote, "Your wife is a towel, mate," while posting
Oh, shit.
2 photos of Khabib and his wife on their wedding day. In the pictures, his wife's face is veiled. He later deleted the tweet, which was captured by MMA Junkie on Tuesday night.
Oh, he deleted it too. Oh,
Khabib
got
has
his
kept
heart.
his wife identity private throughout his career, so this is not a game. Khabib doesn't play. How Conor has not learned this is
I mean, to
beyond
be
me.
fair, a lot of them do that with their wife. I mean, that is the point of the veil, right? Right, Fa?
Oh yeah. But
Yo,
your
the
wife
fact
is
that
a
he deleted
towel.
it.
Is you gonna get your
Can I
ass
see the
beat.
picture? Is there a picture?
No,
of
I
it?
didn't. It's just the
Your
ESPN.
wife is a towel,
Wow.
mate.
That's just a wild. Why is it so funny?
He also said he's afraid of a rematch. McGregor also took a shot at Khabib, saying he might be afraid of a rematch. Of course, McGregor's the one that retired.
Facts.
But earlier in the day,
He beat his ass and beat his friend's ass afterwards.
Holy shit, bro.
So
That's
what's
the
it-
wedding?
I'm not.
she's not a towel.
It's not a towel. Yo, Kaz, you can't.
I was trying.
You can't make fun of this, bro. You can't make fun of this gang. This is the biggest gang in the world, yo, and you got a representative from them right across
You
from
don't
you.
know the good that they do, though.
Right, this guy got tzatziki all over his fucking polo shirt.
Oh my god.
Oh, this chick, bro,
Bro, what the... Dude, I wish you guys could all see what happened. It's not a veil. She literally has... She looks like a folded umbrella. She has... Bro, the one where she's sitting...
It looks like he's about to perform a magic trick, and she underneath that bitch.
He gonna take it off? It's gonna be
empty.
It's gonna be Conor.
Yo, motherfuckers.
Yo, son, I don't judge if y'all want to wear the veil. Yo, I'm not one of those to tell you not to wear it. But
Fuck.
we don't even know if that's her.
That's the only girl I ever seen where the wedding's not the happiest day of her life.
Yo, but
That shit mad hot.
she could be happy, but we don't know.
No, it's not. It's like dressing up as a chicken in the chicken suit to sell, like it's a part-time job. That shit is mad hot. Nobody knows who the fuck you are.
Damn. She's like the sign flipper at her own wedding. You know those dudes like this. Flip that
She
shit.
this bitch.
Yeah.
She this bitch. Fucking used car bitch.
Bam.
Oh my god.
Bam. Your wife is a towel, mate. That shit is crazy,
Oh my
bro.
god. Oh my god.
Efe, why did he shave his beard?
Why did he?
Yeah, is that part of the wedding ritual?
I have no idea.
That's fucked up.
I mean, this isn't a Muslim thing. This is just probably his Dagestan, whatever he's from.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah.
this is wild, bro.
Dog.
This is
like Conor
wild.
McGregor was a death wish, bro. Like,
Yeah, Khabib gonna kill
he's
him,
gonna
bro.
kill that.
Khabib
man.
gonna
Yo, he's gonna
legit
kill him.
murder him.
Like he's legit gonna murder him one
Yeah,
day.
Khabib
Like
gonna
But
kill
you
him.
don't
they're
know
gonna
about-
like ring the bell and he's still gonna be like.
Your wife is a towel, mate.
That's so fucked up.
hold on.
You
no.
can only read it in his accent.
This was retaliatory, but he's still gonna get his ass beat. But Khabib earlier in the day said, "I don't think he's finished," referring to McGregor in his retirement. And he also compared him to a jealous wife who says, "I will leave the whole time," but then comes back, which I think is so.
That's
true.
what he said?
Wow, that's very true.
What is this? Rapist. You are a rapist. You are a hypocrite who is not responsible for your actions. Justice will find you.
Oh,
we will
Jesus.
see. Oh shit.
Damn, that's the
because
girl, huh? That's not his
Connor
wife.
got a. But what's
Yeah,
what's
he's got
what's
a
interesting to
race
see is Connor's in his head and Khabib is now playing Connor's game.
But he already beat his ass. Like there's no game to play.
But-
like he won the ultimate game already.
So
Like,
if
I
you
beat
won the
fuck outta
ultimate
you.
game, that's it. You don't say nothing left. But the fact that he's responding and taking pictures of the girl that's accusing Connor of sexual
Oh,
assault.
here's the thing: Conor been in his head. Khabib don't care.
That's what I'm saying.
Connor's like, I take all this very personally.
Right.
You are in my head. I'm going to kill you.
And then he did.
Understand that.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
also have to understand the good that Khabib does. He does a lot of good for his community. He's a really stand-up guy. Don't misunderstand him.
Yo, you see my boy Akaash sing? You see my boy Akaash sing? Just do that? Yo, you see my boy right there? Cut to his shot. Fuck, bro.
Yo, y'all crazy.
God damn,
Y'all
guys. You
crazy.
see how stupid you sound, bro?
Y'all crazy.
Jesus, bro. Holy shit.
All right, it's jokes. We joking.
Oh my God. Yes, they're jokes. God damn.
Yes.
Damn, must be nice.
What do you,
To be able to joke is fantastic.
Yeah, it really is.
Stop
It
taking
really
yourself
fucking
so
is.
seriously.
I'm not taking.
you're worried
Listen.
that gang
It's
people
not. It's not a worry, bro. Like it's a healthy respect that you have for these people that you grew up around. Like the same people that you probably wouldn't joke
Is it
around with.
respect
you
or
probably-
fear?
It's not fear. It's not fear. I grew up with a lot of these motherfuckers. Like these are people that I know personally, and for you to, I'm not even gonna go back.
But we
there.
can make fun of Akash's, Kama Sutra. Why don't you have the same respect for them?
I grew up around these people, Cash.
Yeah.
I know a lot of rapists.
I'm not doing that with you, bro. I'm not doing that with you. I'm just not. I'm just not. Like that's just
They're
not.
also
that's-
doctors who
that's
serve the
just-
community.
That's just not what I'm doing with you. Like,
Oh, boy.
all right.
All I'm trying to say is, it seems like you're picking and choosing who you'll joke around about, who you'll make fun of, based on who.
I've never had a problem joking around about anything that didn't have to do with like my money.
I'm just saying it seems like you're picking and choosing based on who might kill you.
No one's taking
Which
over
I
you.
get. That's a reasonable thing. And if that's what you're saying to us, I think that we would be more amenable to it. But if you're basing on a moral situation, then we're going to be like, no, because we make fun of everybody here. We're not going to not make fun of gangs and then make fun of all Indians.
Y'all are comedians.
Yeah.
You can make fun of whatever you want. I'm just not going to. That's my whole shit. I've never said anything about y'all making fun of anybody.
Well, it's just
I'm just not going to
the
participate.
sociology lesson that comes with our jokes. It's just like, oh boy.
Well, when you're asking a fucking question, what do you want me to do? Say a joke? If you're saying like, yo, you're talking about,
That's what we do. It's flagrant too.
Bro, like you're talking about like all they do is murder people. I'm like, no, that's not
I never
what
said
all
that.
they do.
I never said that. I never said all they do is murder
Well, it's
people.
recorded, so if that's not what you said, then
They
I'll
murder
look
and do
stupid.
community service.
But
We said that that's a part of it, and we're able to criticize that part, and that they're engaged in illegal activity, and we're able to criticize that part. Now, not
But to not
all
look at
rapists. Not
at-
all Indians are rapists. They're women.
not
That was good. That one was good. Hey, up top. See how we set that up, bro? And I almost flubbed it.
took a
I
second.
almost flubbed
It
it.
took me a second to catch it.
Right? Because now it's like 50%. You know what I mean? Because the other side can't.
That's really good. I couldn't see it coming at all. Blindsided, much like rape victims. I hate you fucking. I'm about to call y'all the F word on the Patreon. Stop being such
It's because
fucking-
Kaz is rubbing off,
You being
man.
pretty hot and glamorous about this whole thing.
Kaz, bro.
Acting like all Muslim sex is consensual. F.A.
This guy's Turkish.
Oh my god.
Do you know what their first
Damn.
blowjobs are from? Fucking men. They get fucking men to
Told
suck
you
their
that confidence for fuck's sake.
That's my boy, F.A. That's my boy. That's my boy. Bro.
How come your biggest contribution in the world is bathhouses? You fucking.
That's how we got. That's how we got our first blowjobs. Would you
That's what I'm
expect?
saying.
It would be the Indian that's upset at cleanliness.
Damn it! I don't have a response. Oh fuck.
Guys, I'm white. Come on at me. Come on at me, guys. I'm fucking white. Come on.
Oh my god.
God, Kaz, see how much fun it can be, bro? Come
I'm
on.
having fun, bro. There's certain things I won't joke about, and that's fine. Like
You
it's
won't.
Good.
There's no gang jokes whatsoever.
No, we just had a whole fucking episode of gang jokes. All I'm saying is when you said
You
all
didn't
they
have
do is-
any. Give us a gang joke.
One
Cass.
gang joke. Okay, a blood, a crip, and a Latin king. walk into
Like,
a
what
bar.
do you expect me to say?
Walk
dog?
into a bar. A
What
blood,
do you
a
expect
crip,
me to say?
a Latin king.
This week,
Walk
of all
into a
weeks, what do you expect me to say? Like honestly.
I don't know. I was hoping you would continue with the premise. That's what I was hoping. And then you can take it anywhere you want. I was just giving you.
I appreciate
structure
the
for
setting,
joke.
setting it up. But,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
you just don't understand that a lot of them aren't allowed in the bars. So, you know, it's,
There's certain attire. Oh, that's the good joke. A blood and a crib and a Latin king walk in the bar. Just kidding. You're not allowed to wear bandanas in bars. Right? You know, no gang attire. Comedy.
oh fuck. Oh god.
Kaz outgrown us, bro.
I don't like
What
it.
do you mean?
Kaz too
I don't
cool
like
for
it.
us, man.
What do you
I like
mean?
Kaz outgrown us, man.
It's
You're
been a
doing-
rough fucking week, bro.
He doing
I'm not
Good
ready
Day
to
New
laugh
York
at this shit
tomorrow.
yet.
He doing Good Day New York tomorrow.
Doing
So
Good
he's
Day New
suddenly
York
too
tomorrow.
good for us.
Gary V podcast. I think he's too good. I think he's too big. Can't
Dog,
joke around with
it's
us
been
no
a,
more.
It's been a rough week. I'll put all my cards on the table. It's been a very rough week for my friends and myself. A very rough week. He touched a lot of my friends. I'm not ready to joke about it yet, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry if I brought the fucking shit down.
But we're not
it's like-
joking about Nipsey.
No, I know you're not, but I'm just like, it's still even hard to like, you know, like it's just been a rough week. It's been a rough
He's
week.
sensitive
Sorry.
about it right now.
Sorry. Like,
okay.
I wish it was easy for me to just laugh that shit off, but like it's so layered, bro. Like, and I'm really trying. Like when we came in this week, like it was the first laughs I got all fucking week. Swear to God. Like that is me being 1,000,000% honest about everything. But like it's been a rough week. So if I brought down today's episode being a lot less anal than usual, a lot more anal than usual, then I apologize for that. But it's
I forgive you. I forgive you. You know, people have rough weeks.
yeah.
Like all those women in India.
God damn it.
Oh, guys. Anything happen in sports?
If we did a rapist March Madness,
Jesus Christ.
white people gotta win. You the Duke of this shit, right?
Son, you're not wrong, bro. You're not fucking wrong about that shit.
Y'all Zion out this bitch. I lowered my seat. I was laughing so hard.
What the fuck? What the fuck happened to your chair?
Zion every time.
Yo, he'll never spread it.
Look like Zion, whenever he walked down the court, he looked like one of those ski jumpers.
Oh my gosh. Remember
That's how he jumped so high. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe it's something to put your wrist down.
Remember that old fucking Saturday Night Live character? Which is like, when I get nervous, I stick my
Oh,
hands.
yeah. That's Zion.
You smell him? Yeah.
Oh, superstar.
Superstar.
He is a superstar, too. Oh, fuck.
That's Zion, bro. Shit.
Fucking Zion, man. Zion gonna be the truth, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody,
You
I
see
think,
him at in the rec center in Duke?
Oh, there's
Almost
a
fucking
video.
kill himself.
Wait a minute. Wait, he got injured?
No, like he fucking dunked and the shit almost fucking came down on him.
Oh, I thought it was just him abusing kids.
He was. Look at the
that's
hoop. The hoop fucking shifts all the way this way. It's not like one of those like fucking sturdy ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's
The shit that comes from the ceiling.
patron question that fits in right here.
Okay, go.
Rudy Downey asked, do you think Zion will be better as an NBA pro for losing in college?
Absolutely.
You think it'll make him better?
Why? Why do you
Absolutely.
think?
Absolutely.
Failure can make you stronger,
Well,
basically?
yeah. I mean, like, I always feel like there's a weird. There was already hype for him, but like if he won the national title, there'd be like unsurmountable fucking zenith like hype for this motherfucker. And I feel like him not getting to the Final Four takes a little bit of the edge off of him. It takes a little bit of the pressure off him to be like this franchise savior right away. I just think he'll be a better pro than a college player anyway. I think his skill set will just help out, just being around better players and shit, and having more space to work around, and not getting like quadruple teamed every week.
What makes somebody a better college player than NBA player?
A better college player than NBA
Yeah,
player?
why are there certain guys that excel? Why are there certain guys that aren't that good in college, or they're not bad, but they're not putting up these crazy numbers in college, and they come into the league and they're a fucking force? And then why are there guys that throw up incredible numbers in college and come into the league and can't do
It's
anything?
just a different game, right? Different level
Yeah.
of
So
athleticism.
what
I think.
about the game?
I would assume
I think the college
athleticism.
game is slower.
Okay, but let's go back to the question, right? So if athleticism made for it, why is it that there are certain people that don't excel in college
Okay,
and
also
then
true.
excel in the league?
And there's some freak athletes. Corey Maggette was incredible in college and wasn't quite as good as a pro.
So
So I think athleticism
okay.
and intelligence have to be peak.
So
Yeah.
the freak athleticism will allow you to excel in college, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee you excel in the league
Yeah.
Without intelligence to match.
Facts.
without intelligence match.
And I
Gotcha.
think the vice versa is also true. Excellent intelligence in college, TJ McConnell or whoever probably.
You can be a skilled player,
but in the NBA, you need
but
both.
you need
I feel like in
JJ
the-
Redick.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta be a specialist in college. Like whatever you're really good in college, you better be a specialist at that in the NBA, or else you'll probably just be like in the league for like a year or two and then be out. Like JJ Redick's a perfect example. Fucking superstar in college. He could score any way he want in college, but in the NBA, it's like, no, you're a shooter. You shoot
guys are
threes.
right.
So it's with that.
And that is his. JJ is operating at his peak,
Yeah.
right? Like he's
this is his best season right now.
No, not only is it best season, I mean like he's cut the fat off of every aspect of his game. He's like, I'm just gonna have elite cardio so I can run around, because the way I'll get away from my guy is not having speed, but constantly have him running around picks, etc.
Right.
Okay, so that's what it is. So now we're scouts, right? And we're
Yeah.
looking at so knowing that we're scouts, we're looking at Zion, right? We have to acknowledge that his elite athleticism in college is giving him an advantage, but that's going to be somewhat mitigated in the league when he goes up against other elite athletes.
Okay.
Right?
I think he's still an elite athlete amongst elite athletes.
Of course.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is he'll start going up against what's the kid in Miami?
Son Whiteside?
No. The amazing dunker and incredibly long arms.
Derrick Jones Jr.
Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah.
So when you have a Derrick Jones Jr., right, or you have some of these other elite guys that are 7 feet and can move and jump at the rim, when you're going up and it's Anthony Davis at the rim,
Yeah.
right? It's like, okay, this is a little different than
Yeah.
in college. So then where will his skill set help him excel in the league?
There's certain skills in college that, or in any place in basketball that transfers to the NBA right away.
Right.
Rebounding's one of them. He's a very good rebounder.
Immediate effect.
Size and ball handling, that transfers over
Yes.
pretty much to any place
Yes.
of basketball. Speed.
Get down the floor.
Exactly.
He'll get down
Being
the
able
floor
to
faster.
fast.
Yeah.
And those are things that, like, without even like being able to be an elite shooter or anything like that, or an elite playmaker,
He's getting
that he could transfer right away to the league.
10, 12 points a game on putbacks and fast breaks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's padded stats. If he
And that
finds
breeds confidence.
100%, you see the ball go in,
Yeah.
okay. And the three-pointer is better than we thought it would be.
Yeah.
It's not by any means.
It's respectable.
It is, yeah, exactly.
Will he be good at NBA threes though? Does he pull up from there?
I don't think so, but you'll
Here's
have
why I
to
think
you have
he'll
to
be good.
respect him. So
Yeah.
when people know he'll blow by anybody, you give him a
Exactly.
little space.
'Cause he
If he
can
starts
dribble
hitting
it
2 or
fast.
3 of those, then you got to get up and then he's blowing past you.
So the question is this. It's like, and the reason why I think he'll be fine with the NBA 3 is there's not a lot of movement on his shot. There are certain guys that they jump into their shot.
Right.
There's certain guys that have a lot of things that could go wrong before release.
I think Westbrook is one of them. He kind of runs into the
Yeah.
shot.
Right? And Westbrook gets a lot of elevation on the shot,
Yeah.
so he's constantly compensating elevation with force on his hand, and that's why if you watch Westbrook shoot, he pulls back.
It's a line drive.
But also the pullback after the
Yeah.
release.
Yeah.
You ever
Yeah.
like the pure shooters, it's follow through.
Follow-through.
Like even I'm not going to put him in that class, but we were watching Kevin Knox at the Knicks game the other
Yeah.
night, and this guy is. It's like a catapult. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
like,
it's smooth. He plays very smoothly.
Like,
Yeah.
but just the follow through is
Yeah.
there. Whereas Westbrook, it's boom,
Yeah.
and then he'll pull back a little.
And that's why people are still high on Kevin Knox, because it's like, I think once he grows into like his man body, he'll be like an elite NBA scorer. Because
we go.
all the shit that they teach you, like on the pro level, he's
Natural.
already got.
Got it.
He's already got.
So the thing with Zion, and the reason why I think he'll be able to pick up the three, not off the dribble,
Yeah.
set shot, three from the side, is because not a lot of effort in his shot, right? It's he sets it up, follows through. Very little is going on,
Right.
right? Whereas certain guys, like a Westbrook, is like, no, I'm going to need to jump into this. And then when you jump, it's like, did you get your feet set?
Yeah.
Did you get your elbow in? Did you?
I thought Melo was good too.
Who's that?
That's why Melo was good too.
Same shot every
it
single
was
time.
Same thing. Not a lot of elevation.
Nothing.
Good arc. Like
Quick.
It's quick. Yeah.
Melo's
yeah.
speed was something that was super hard. I don't know if Zion has that same release speed. Melo's release speed was elite. It was
Yeah,
like you couldn't.
yeah.
I never saw anybody get a hand on the Melo shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a. I'm interested to see what happens.
I think what else he's gonna benefit from. He's gonna be playing with a lot of other pros. Like the fact that he's playing with other pros
Yeah.
is immediately gonna make the game speed up. He's gonna see a lot more single coverage than he's probably ever seen in his life.
Right.
You know, and a lot of those numbers that he was still putting up what 24 games, 70% shooting in college, whatever, while being double teamed. While being like double and triple teamed by a lot of people. So like he's gonna see a lot of single coverage, and you know he'll put up similar to Trae Young this year. Like beginning of the year, we didn't really know what he was capable of so far, and like now that
Trae.
he's gotten used to the league and he's getting a lot more single coverage and like it's a lot of space out.
Yeah.
With the basketball, he's putting up the same numbers he's putting up in college, like 25, 10 assists. Like
We gotta have that Trey combo.
Yeah.
We gotta have the Trey Luca combo. I know
I
how
might have
much you
spoke
guys
soon.
love.
I still
Luka.
love Luca.
I still think
Thoughts?
Luka will be a better pro. I think. But Trey, if you say he's rookie of the year, I would still say Luka, but I'm for sure biased. If I'm unbiased, I'm not sure I can argue with you.
Akaash, is it fair to say at this point that Trey is not the bust that a
Not
lot
at
of
all. I never
people-
thought he was going to be a bust for the
Yeah.
record, but he's definitely not a bust.
Yeah,
Like my
even
brother
when he
is
was
so sure
struggling.
he was going to bust, and no.
Cash,
Even when he was
you're a
struggling.
huge Luca fan.
Huge Luca fan. Yeah.
Would you still make the trade?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll still make the trade because
Why?
One, I feel like I like Luca's long-term ability. Same thing I like about Knox, like all the pro shit that they have to teach you when he gets to the league. He's already had. He's been playing against pros since he was like 16 years old,
Physique
whatever.
too, NBA physique.
Like
He'll
you
only get in
know,
better shape. Like
he's-
Luka's not in great shape,
Yeah, he's
but he'll
doughy.
get in better
Yeah, yeah,
shape.
yeah.
And
Luca's
just-
he's a pretty decent passer, and I like his size. I still take Luca. But Trae Young is like, they knew they were going after him, and they tailored that team for his skill set. So it's a lot of run and gun. A lot of those assists are a little bit inflated because it's a lot of just get up and down, pull up, lots of possessions. Like the numbers look more inflated than they should be. But I still like Luka, man. Like
Also,
I
the
still
pick
like
is
him.
top 5 protected. So I think the Hawks right now are the 5 seed. I wish the Mavs would fucking start tanking better so they could get the 5 seed from the Hawks. It's like neck and neck.
Yeah.
But if the Mavs pick, say it's number 6, which is the best possible pick they could get, who's the 6th best pro in this draft? I don't know. We don't know of anybody. Like the
There's
guy
like
might be
5.
good, but it could be Trae Young and a contributor.
Yeah.
That's what I would think it would be versus Luka, and I think I would take Luka.
I feel like those first 4 players in the draft are like not franchise players, but like they could be.
I
They
think
could be.
Ja and Zion are the franchise guys. I don't like RJ Barrett.
I like Jarrett Culver a lot.
I don't know him. You know much
Texas
more
Tech.
ball than me in
They're
general.
the guys that just beat over the. Well, they're in the Final Four.
Yeah.
The best player there, sophomore, really good, and he was like top 5 all year. So
Okay.
like he's like kind of ascending now. But once that, if you fall out of like that top 5, like it's
hard for you.
hard. Yeah, like the talent pool gets a little diluted.
You guys watch college sports a little bit more than me. Why is it that they say guards run the tournament? The March Madness tournament. They never say they don't say it's a forward game. They don't say it's a center game. They say it's a guard game specifically in the tournament.
Well, in the tournament, you get a lot of a lot of times you're playing these people for the first time, and if you have a point guard that is plays under control, that could run the team, and a lot of times they're gonna have the ball in their hands. Like the best guards usually end up winning. Unless you have like an all-world big guy like Anthony Davis or like
Right.
fucking Jahlil Okafor for a little bit.
But I remember I think it was Davis. Davis was Kentucky.
Yeah, Anthony Davis, Kentucky.
Yeah, I think Davis, even in that final game,
He didn't
scored
score
10
well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It was
he
like
didn't score well. He was just playing great defense.
played good D. He could affect the game defensively, but it seems to me that the tournament is guard driven and guard dominated, and the games are won and lost by big guard play.
And you could play zone in college too. So
Is that
like,
why?
It takes out.
So it's like, if you can play zone, you
You can
can't
play
really
in the NBA too, though, right?
different type of zone.
Different
You
type
can't
of
clog
zone,
the middle,
yeah.
Okay.
right? That's a defensive 3 seconds.
Okay.
So, whereas I'm assuming in the NBA you can throw it in the post and let a big go to work. In college, you throw it in the post, you just make it easy for your
Swarm.
defense,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? You already have another guy playing help that's in the middle. So maybe that's it.
And then they kick the ball out to the guards, and those guards better be able to shoot.
Bang,
They better
all
be able
day,
to hit those.
three.
Yeah.
And that's interesting.
I also thought 5 fouls had something to do with it, but I don't know if that actually makes sense because the
What do you
game
mean?
is shorter. College game is 40 minutes, pro is 48. But yeah, I thought 5. Like once Zion had 2 fouls in the first half, they're like, they got to sit him 2 fouls in the first half.
right.
2 fouls in a quarter is when you sit an NBA player.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
thought maybe bigs get more fouls, so you got to be a little more careful.
That's
how you
true.
manage them.
That's
how you
also
manage
Possibly.
the ball.
Yeah, that could.
I don't know if that actually makes sense or not.
It could definitely be. It was just something I never truly understood. Let's get to some Patreon
Yep.
questions.
So we hit
because
the
we gotta get out of here.
we hit
Yep.
the Rudy Downey question. Alvin Jones, he asked a couple questions. He said 2 that I liked. Why are all of a sudden the Lakers deciding to bench LeBron now, and are the Browns becoming overhyped?
I'll talk the Browns question first. I don't think they're overhyped. I think a lot of people, when it looked like that Philadelphia Eagles team, that was like that super team.
Yeah,
a
when they
couple
got
years
Vince Young as
ago.
the backup.
Yeah, and I forgot like Deshaun Jackson and Mike
Yeah.
Vick, and they had all those squads or whatever, and Nnamdi Asomugha, a bunch of
Yeah.
guys.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
I think the NFL is a little different than it was back then because like the LA Rams did something similar
Last
this year as
Yeah.
far as like getting talent, and even though they didn't win the Super Bowl, like they got
This is
there.
the new
like,
model: is
yeah.
you get a rookie quarterback on a cheap deal, and if he's good, especially if he's good, you surround him with everybody because this is when he's cheap.
Yep.
He's gonna get Baker Mayfield gonna be really fucking expensive 4 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 4 years to go after a Super Bowl. Really, that's what the Eagles did.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even though their starter
That's
went
what
down, it
Seahawks
worked.
did.
Seahawks did the same
Yeah.
thing. So that's the new model. I do think they might be getting overhyped though, and I'm just wary of the team that gets the preseason hype. Rarely seems to win.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's just the Patriots fucking up everything
Mm-hmm.
for the past 20
Very
years
true.
because
Very
they
true.
never get the hype and they're always there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they might be getting overhyped. Someone else, this actually leads to a question. Bobby Broadway. I'm going to basically truncate what he said, and this is the last question, or second to last question I want to get to. Odell versus Jarvis. You can't keep both of them happy, theoretically. There's not enough balls to go around. They both want it all the time. Which one of them pipes up first if this becomes a problem? Does it become a problem?
I think it's different with those two. They're like, not butt buddies. They've been best friends for like.
Are they best friends?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
they
been
went
like
to college
best friends
together.
since like high school,
okay.
like before college.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they both grew up in Louisiana. Both.
I
like,
also don't know
sons of
Jarvis
their,
to be a
like-
diva. I don't know him to be. I never
Wow.
heard these stories of Jarvis
No.
like demanding. I mean, the guy went to Cleveland
Yeah.
as a free agent. Like,
Right.
he didn't get, he
I
was
think
like,
the only
whatever.
way we start hearing from Odell is if they start losing again. Like I think that's his big shit. Like I don't think he gives a fuck that much about like touches and shit. That was the only time we saw Odell like make a stink was when they just weren't winning games. You
I
know?
think
Yeah,
he
it's like,
might have a little
You're
bit
gonna
of that in
not
him.
throw me the ball and
And
lose
lose?
games?
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that shit. That's fair. I have a I have a question about Cleveland being overrated. You think they're overrated? No.
I think they're overhyped.
Why do we think that raw offensive power equates to wins?
I feel like they already got. I feel
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Right? Like we have a situation. Maybe this question is really about the Patriots. It's like the Patriots have relinquished their ability to score. I think when you
Yeah.
get Gronk out of there, who's catching your balls?
Yeah.
Like who do they replace Gronk
Yeah.
with?
A high-powered offense doesn't necessarily win championships like that. Like, the Chiefs were so fucking fun to watch.
But-
And they had a pretty good defense, but when it mattered, they couldn't make the stops. And the Browns did make little upgrades. Like, they got this guy, Olivier Vernon. They had a guard who was good, but they had another good guard behind him, so they traded him. And then they got Olivier Vernon, who's a good defensive end, to put on the other side of, I forget the guy's name, Myles Garrett, who's a
Right.
beast. But so
For
they made
everybody
a
who's
little
listening, not familiar with football, guard is the
offensive
lineman.
guard. Yeah, offensive lineman. Sorry, I forget. We got international folks.
Yeah.
But they made little defensive improvements is the point. But the thing everybody's going nuts about is Odell.
Right.
And I think one or two other things. I forget. But
What do
mainly
the
Odell.
Patriots do? Do the Patriots trade for someone, draft someone? How do they compensate for the greatest tight end in history?
No, they just figure it out. That's what they do. This
And-
is the best player I think they've lost, but
Yeah.
they lose good players, and they're always fine.
And if Tom Brady and the Patriots win again,
It's not even a question he's the GOAT. I think he might be the GOAT now, but, like,
I mean, he has to be the GOAT, right?
it's undisputable.
But if you do it without Gronk, if you make your next tight end look like Gronk, oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, not going to look like Gronk,
If he
but
does
look
it
good.
without Gronk,
Yeah.
I think we eliminate it's really Belichick, not Brady. Brady's a system quarterback.
Well, that would still exist because then it would be Belichick figured out how to do it without Gronk. Like, he doesn't need the best players.
But wouldn't it exist slightly less?
I think so, maybe.
A little. Wouldn't we give Brady a little bit of credit?
I think when it really, honestly, the year he lost but went 16-0, I think that was when we were like, this motherfucker, because he smashed every quarterback record. When the Patriots finally went after weapons,
Yeah.
offensive weapons, and lost Randy Moss, Brady's numbers were crazy.
That's the argument.
Yeah.
Give him weapons, and this is what Brady would do.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Any more questions? I know we got to get out of
No,
here.
I think we actually hit the three that I
Cal's
wanted to
got
hit.
some big interviews to do.
Yeah,
you do.
got to break out.
That was the last one.
Yep.
Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening to this podcast. We will see you again on Tuesday. I got a big announcement that's going to happen, I believe, Sunday or Monday, that you guys will hear about. Very excited to share it with you. Yeah, we just appreciate you. Hopefully, I'll see you guys soon in the different cities that I'm performing in. TheAndrewSchultz.com. Get those tickets. Bring out your girl. Bring out your family. Bring out the homies. Connect with the assholes. And if you ever got to come to the show alone, remember, you always with family. That's what I tell people.
Facts.
Always with family. So it's great seeing you guys come to the show together, meet up at the shows, and then just, connect, man. That's the best part of this community that we got cooking up over here. And when we get this space, man, because it looks like it's gravitating towards that. And I'll say this again, but I don't ask for much, but I'm asking for your help. And that means I want to renovate this space. Anybody who's got any help, if you know how to do drywall, come fuck with us. You know how to paint, come fuck with us. You know how about electricity, come fuck with us. You know about plumbing, come fuck with us. Everybody with any skill, if you want to come help build this space and make it as special as I believe that we can, we are willing to take your help, man. We would appreciate it so much. Again, I do not ask for much, but I will ask for this from you. So when it gets closer to the date, man, I would love it if y'all felt it,
felt compelled to step up and help, man. If you think that we've given you any value in your life, man, and you wanna give back, I know you're already giving back in terms of this Patreon, but if you want to help us out, that would be phenomenal, man. So we'll give you more information when that happens, but I'm very excited about what the future holds. Any announcements real quick? Is Wale Mania almost sold out?
Just about. I gotta go head to the Gary Vee show right now.
Do your thing, son. Tell Gary I say what up.
See you later, buddy.
Be
See you
good.
later.
Be good.
Yes, sir.
Gang, gang. April 26th, April 27th, I'm at Caroline's ABDCs. Come check it out. I might be working on a little Texas show, trying to figure that out as we speak. It's not looking super likely, but we'll try to see if we can get that done. So that's it. But April 26th, April 27th, carolines.com. Book your tickets. Jess Hilarious was there this weekend, so they made us wait 3 weeks before we showed up. But
To just
come through.
calm that bomb out.
Also, she don't like brown people. So yeah, but just fuck with us. April 26th, 27th. Let's do this.
All right, perfect.
F.A., you got any announcements? You're gay?
I think I've lost my job after this. So.
Bye, guys. Peace. Thank you.
God bless.